A horrifying video showing a group of schoolboys savagely and mercilessly beating a bird to death has emerged, leading to their disqualification from the school rugby team. The video, which was shared over the social media app Snapchat, begins as a former student holds a small bird up to the camera, gripping it by its wings. "Look, it's a bird." A male voice can be heard shouting as the group erupts into laughter. The bird can be seen falling to the floor, where it lies helpless, repeatedly kicked, thrown against the wall and violently stomped on. Scroll down for video as the injured bird makes an effort to scramble towards the corner of the room. It is hunted down and once again beaten and crushed by the sole of a shoe. "It's still tweeting," an unidentified male voice can be heard saying before someone else replies. "Don't be mean to Tweety." The bird is once again picked up before being swung around the room amid snorts of laughter. OS***T. Someone is heard exclaiming. The video ends as one of the boys holds the lifeless birds up to the camera in the palm of his hand. Boxes of beer can be seen on the floor. Two of the boys left John Paul College in Rotorua this year, but at the time the video was taken were still playing for their first 15 rugby team, the NZ Herald reported. The animal abuse had occurred in a private home and was not supervised or sanctioned by the school, the publication said. The school's Board of Trustees disciplinary subcommittee described the incident as a cruel mistreatment and death. The two young men left the college earlier in 2018 and are pursuing apprenticeship and employment, a media statement written by subcommittee chairman Jonathan Tem said. The former students were subsequently banned from playing in the first 11 for 3 competition games, with half of the season remaining. They are expected to attend counseling sessions and work voluntary for the SPCA for 3 months as part of their punishment conditions. John Paul College principal Patrick Walsh said he was appalled and deeply saddened by the footage. Concerned parents and members of the public took to the school's Facebook page to voice their opinions over the incident. "I am sickened and furious," one man wrote. "Young men behaving like cavemen," another said. "Torturing an innocent living being and laughing. Future killers in training," someone else commented. Daily Mail Australia has reached out to John Paul College. Brand new spin-off series, Legacies, is going to be released this autumn on the CW in the US. The supernatural drama is included on the broadcaster's autumn schedule and will air on Thursday evenings, beginning on October 25. Legacies continues the story of the originals and the Vampire Diaries. The series will follow the next generation of supernatural beings at the Salvatore School for the Young and Gifted and was penned by co-creator of both the originals and the Vampire Diaries, Julie Plick. How to watch the Vampire Diaries online. Leading the cast is a star of Season 5 of the originals, Danielle Rose Russell. Russell will be playing a 17-year-old Hope McKelson. The Vampire Diaries fan favorite Matt Davies will be reprising the role of Alaric Salesman for the series. Kaylee Bryant is set to star as Josie Saltzman alongside Jenny Boyd as Lizzie Saltzman. Julie Plick also tweeted that actors Quincy Faust and Ariasha Assemi will also be starring in the show, but their roles have not been revealed yet. The Originals Season 5, Episode 11 promo. The official synopsis for Legacies reads, "For the last decade, the iconic heroes and villains of the Vampire Diaries and the originals have captivated audiences worldwide. They left an enduring legacy of love and family in their wake, which continues in Legacies, a thrilling new drama that tells the story of the next generation of supernatural beings at the Salvatore School for the Young and Gifted. It's here that Klaus Michaelson's daughter, 17-year-old Hope Michelson, Alaric Saltzman's twins, Lizzie and Josie Saltzman, and other young adults including political science milligrams and the mysterious Landon Kirby come of age in the most unconventional way possible, nurtured to be their best selves, in spite of their worst impulses. Will these young witches, vampires and werewolves become the heroes they want to be or the villains they were born to be? As they fight to protect their secret, their town of Mystic Falls, and eventually the world, they will have to rely on ancient folklore and tales to learn how to battle their far-reaching enemies. There will be a 2-year time jump from the end of the originals to the beginning of Legacies. There is no trailer yet, but it is expected to be released quite soon. However, the CW released a general Fall 2018 promo and a brief shot of Legacies is included. A lesbian couple searching for the owner of a lost dog Sunday evening were victim to a horrific verbal attack by a homophobic man who spotted them together near his property. Trudy and Wendy Dragoon had been walking on Southeast Duke and Southeast 63rd Avenue in Portland, Oregon at the time the furious man approached the women with 2 fists in the air. The married couple shared footage of the disturbing incident to their social media pages this week. The unnamed man is heard first shouting at Trudy, "Let's go. Act like a *** king man, get it like one." He continues on the expletive and slur-laced rant, "Gay pride *** B *** H. Get the *** out of the road. Come on. You're a *** king woman. I'll *** king knock you on your *** king ***, you fat cow." The women both seemingly keep calm during the verbal attack, and Trudy is heard replying to him, "You think that you scare me?" Throughout the video, the man continues to degrade both women, flip the finger and threaten violence upon them because of their sexual orientation. "You're dumb. Get the *** going, cow. You're a cow. Go *** king scissor each other," he shouted. Trudy then tells him, "I will knock your drunk *** on your *** right now." Then man moves closer to her and prepares to fight her, before another man intervenes and pushes him away from her. The man then goes on to say, "I'll literally put you to *** king sleep." At the end of the video, a police officer arrives to the scene, but refuses to report the incident. When the video went viral, however, the women received overwhelming support from locals and other viewers. Police in the area announced after they were investigating the matter. The police bureau is aware that speech, such as the speech present in this video, instills fear in members of our community. The police bureau works with community members and community organizations regarding bias crimes. The statement released by Portland Police Public Information Officer Chris Burley said in a public statement, "I am not able to speak about the event, as this is an open investigation. I was not present at the time." You might not have received your Hogwarts letter yet, boo, but you can make like a wizard or witch with this brilliant lunch bag from Lidl. The supermarket has previewed the £4.99 bag online, and we are obsessed. Little said the bags, which will be available in store from Thursday and come in maroon and black, were for children. But admitted grown-up witches and wizards could buy them too. The supermarket teased insulated Harry Potter lunch bags in the back-to-school range. You know, for your kids. Definitely for your kids. While stocks last. For only £4.99. But not everyone was convinced. And for that few nuts, sickles and galleons, who can blame them? Some Harry Potter fans admitted they were planning to get one even though they don't go to school. Louise Montgomery tagged a friend in her post, writing, "Emma Montgomery, I need one even though I don't go to school." Natalie Impey, tagging her pal, said, "Danielle Robertson, do you need a new lunchbox when you go back in September?" Claire Gibson suggested her friend Lizzie take one to work. She said, "Lizzie Newton for your new job, laugh out loud." This isn't the only time Harry Potter-themed luggage has been launched. In April, Primark released Wonderful Bags features images from the hit books and films. At just £12, the rucksack and satchel came complete with badges Harry, Ron and Hermione would have been proud of. The shop has also sold Harry Potter-themed stationery. Wizard idea. The collection is priced from £1.50 and is available in the high street chain around the UK. Part of the collection includes notepads themed on the 4 Hogwarts houses, so budding Gryffindors or Slytherins can show their allegiance. If you want more Harry Potter paraphernalia, and you should, you can. Supermarkets may not be what immediately springs to mind when buying sandals. But that could change with Lidl's new Birkenstock-inspired footwear range. The budget brand has just announced their Asmara/Livergy adult sandals range. Lidl's website describes them as a classic style with an anatomically formed leather footbed. Costing just £5.99, they come in dark brown, light brown, black, white and sparkly. And there's 3 different designs to choose from too, either a single or double buckle strap or crossover detail. But keep your eyes peeled as the website says more styles will be available in store. The sandals are similar to the well-known Birkenstock shape, but are considerably cheaper. The Arizona Birkel floor costs £55, while the same model in metallic stone silver costs £60, making the supermarket version £54 cheaper. Lidl's range drops on Sunday, July 29th, just in time for the weekly shop. This mom was mortified after noticing very rude pattern on her favorite summer dress. And Phoebe Buffet would approve of Primark. One wintry afternoon I was sitting at home, feeling despondent, when my 4-year-old daughter ran in to greet me after preschool. 7 weeks after a terminal cancer diagnosis, a targeted chemo drug had caused acne-like blisters across my entire face. In my most vulnerable hour, I was ugly and disfigured, too. Gabriella straddled her legs across my lap and looked at me without speaking. I wanted to turn away, afraid my scars would scare her and she would think me ugly. But I knew I could not protect her from what was happening. So I sat waiting, until she cupped my face in her hands and asked, "Does it hurt, beautiful mummy? Shall I kiss it better?" Then she kissed my cheek, before wiping away my tears. "Beautiful mummy." These unexpected words struck something at my core, releasing a wave of leftover shame. In an instant, I not only forgave my face its current ugliness, but all the ugliness I had seen in it from a very young age. Suddenly, I realized my pizza face, as I called it, had been dredging up judgments I had aimed at my appearance for years, judgments that had led to bulimia and a crippling lack of self-regard by my mid-teens. This moment of clarity gave me the chance to tackle the remnants of those misperceptions and finally let them go. As a result, I even began to feel grateful for what the drug, afatinib, had done to me. This is what I call a life shock, an unexpected moment offering an opportunity for increased self-awareness. These moments are collision points between life as we see it and life as it actually is. They shock us into paying attention. A life shock might be anything from a throwaway comment that hits a nerve to the words, "Your lung cancer is incurable." Since my diagnosis nearly 4 years ago, I've had multiple brain tumors 3 times, radiotherapy, targeted chemo, brain surgery, and have been twice at the brink of death. On each occasion, I have needed to call on my inner resources, and my condition has stabilized, at least for a time. Of course I would return cancer to center in an instant if I could, but I would not return what the associated luffy shocks have given me, taught me, and made of me. I am far more myself now, at 52, than I was before my diagnosis, and these years have been the most creative, purposeful, and fulfilling of my life. This is what luffy shocks can do for us, if we know how to suck the marrow out of such moments, to make the most of encounters with forces that we cannot control, predict, or plan. Instead of resisting and resenting these encounters, we can learn to engage with them in powerful and transformative ways. It was my late mentor and business partner Dr. K. Bradford Brown, a clinical psychologist and psychotherapist, who first introduced me to the concept of luffy shocks. As well as teaching individuals about his work through the More to Life Foundation, which runs transformational courses, I spent 20 years running a consultancy that took these ideas into large organizations, where we taught clients to dismantle their harmful, self-limiting beliefs and behaviors and thus improve company performance. Luffy shocks expose the ways in which we limit ourselves. They also invite us to grow if we know how to respond to them. When luffy shocks strike, we often draw false conclusions about ourselves, other people, and the situation, which then determine what we feel and do. For example, judging my sore face as ugly, I asked my husband to drive me everywhere to avoid public transport. I feared my little girl would recoil from me and even resented the drug that was keeping me alive. Of all the things cancer could do to me, I thought, why this? It seemed so cruel. However, my pizza face and the beautiful mummy luffy shocks were exactly what I needed to flush the old judgments out of my system. This is how luffy shocks can serve us if we know how to engage them. Here are some examples of how others have been able to use luffy shocks to find a new sense of peace and self-acceptance, even in their darkest hours. Healing the hurt of adultery. The key to using luffy shocks to our benefit is to notice them in the first place. We also need to become aware of the way we interpret these moments, the inner voice that judges and criticizes in profoundly false ways. This is the primary cause of our suffering. One of my clients, who I shall call Elizabeth Gurney, was a physiotherapist in her late 50s. She illustrates how challenging our existing beliefs can help us overcome even the most disruptive events. She had been married for 32 years and had raised 3 children when her husband confessed to a 9-month affair. She told me, sitting in the kitchen, my husband was opposite in an armchair, elbows on knees, head bowed. Suddenly he said with a quiet but clear voice, "She feels wonderful in my arms." Life shock. When I asked Elizabeth to describe her physical reaction, she described pressure in her head, ice-cold hands, a hollow dropping stomach and shortness of breath. And her emotions? Shock, high anxiety, heartache, outrage. When I asked what her inner voice was telling her, she said, "I'm left behind. I'm abandoned. I'm helpless and isolated. I can't survive this." Slowly I got her to challenge these thoughts, replacing each false statement with a true one. "I'm left behind" became "he may leave me, and I may leave him, but that does not put me behind." "I'm abandoned" became "I am able to take care of myself. I can't survive this" changed to "I am still here. I am surviving it." Next, Elizabeth made some resolutions based on the life shock she had experienced. She would hand back the rings, and the expectations that went with them. She would start again, feel her pain but not give up on love. Elizabeth came to realize how lonely she had felt in her marriage over the years, and how she needed to find new ways to love herself instead of expecting that all to come from her husband. She even recognized this as her part in his affair. And thus she took responsibility for her life in ways that had been a long time coming, eventually finding new work she loved and a self-regard she had never previously known. Are you pushing people too hard? In one retail organization, which hired my consultancy partly because it had a staff turnover of more than 40%, there was a director with a fierce reputation. He was a legend in the business and staff were almost universally terrified of him. They had formed collective strategies to cover their backs. On the days of his visits to stores, they posted a sentry in the car park to warn of his coming. He was particularly critical if certain products were not available. Consequently, staff kept those products in storage until he arrived at the store. My role was to deliver a leadership training for his team. Observing him closely, I noticed his dedication to the business. "Are you aware that most of your staff are scared of you?" I asked, once I knew I had won his respect. It was a significant life shock for him. He really didn't know. Why would they be frightened of me? I turned the question to his team. Slightly squirming, they began giving him feedback about being critical and getting angry when things weren't perfect. "But they should be perfect," he retorted. There was my moment to work with him. I asked him to break down exactly what he meant. His answers reflected his high standards of delivering excellence, nothing less. When I asked what he feared would happen if they delivered less, it boiled down to letting the business down, letting customers down, failing at his own job and the staff all losing their jobs. "And what would that make you?" I asked. "A bad manager. A failure. A fraud," was his response. I felt real compassion for him. His care for the business and his people ran deep. His bullying behavior was driven by a demand for perfection, born of these false beliefs about himself. Having worked with him on all this, We found new ground to stand on. I am neither a failure nor a fraud. I do have high standards, but no one is perfect, and I don't need to demand that," he said. "I will recognize successes as well as pointing out mistakes." By admitting that his behavior, however well-intended, had a negative impact, he found a new path. And the knock-on effect was to improve working practices throughout the company and significantly reduce staff turnover. Experiencing your worst nightmare sometimes. Luffy shocks include the most painful experiences imaginable. And when these moments come, being able to challenge your critical inner voice will help you to find the best possible response. Earlier this year I interacted with a woman at a course I was teaching, who I knew quite well. She told me she had been coping with something in shameful silence for some time. Having split from her partner, who was not the father of her children, her teenage son told her this man had abused him several times, a revelation that shook her to the core. It stirred up old memories of being abused herself by her uncle. It was her worst nightmare, the one thing she had wanted to protect her son and daughter from. She had plenty of experience working with Luffy shocks, and by the time she disclosed this information she had already cleared a lot of self-recrimination. She had also recognized how she had invested more of her self-esteem in being a devoted mother than in anything else. But she hadn't felt or expressed her grief. Letting out your grief can be profoundly healing, and it is often blocked by things like self-recrimination and blame. Now, it was ready to pop. So she lay on the floor, in the middle of our course, and wailed for 40 long, redeeming minutes. She went to the very depths of her sorrow. This was what was needed for her to move into a more intimate relationship with her son and into a more forgiving relationship with herself. By working with this life-shock moment and feeling her grief, she found unexpected light in the darkness. When beauty can be a curse. I was leading a workshop when I noticed a tall, slim woman with long blonde hair, delicate features and huge blue eyes. She was hiding from the group's attention, so I sought her out. "What's it like to be as beautiful as you?" I asked intuitively when the opportunity presented itself. Her eyes welled up. "Don't call me that." "But you are beautiful," I pressed. "How many people here agree?" When all their hands went up, tears streamed down her cheeks. This was a significant life shock for her. "People just see my beauty," she eventually confessed, "but they don't see me." This woman's exterior had overshadowed her interior for too long, and as a result she resorted to trying to lose herself in the crowd. Having taken some time to win her trust, I brought her to the front of the room. She was very uncomfortable at first, but I encouraged her to bring her attention to the group rather than listening to her inner critic. To her terror, I asked the group what they saw in her. "Courage, honesty, strength, vulnerability, resilience," came the replies. Her discomfort persisted, then tears rolled down her face. She seemed filled with the light that radiates when we know we are loved for what is on the inside instead of being judged or accepted for what is on the outside. That day she came to terms with her physical appearance once and for all, as we can all do whether blessed with beauty. The heartbroken family of a woman killed by a Bandai-affected driver have expressed outrage at the lengthy rap sheet of the man who hit her. Lisa Didonato, 27, died on February 15 when her car was struck by Joe Lim's truck while she was waiting at traffic lights in Reville, Victoria. In the decade before Lim caused the crash that claimed the life of the Melbourne pharmacist, he had pleaded guilty to more than 50 criminal charges. In fact, 33-year-old Lim was granted bail just 3 weeks before the fatal collision occurred, for just one of the dozens of offenses he had racked up in the years preceding. According to the Herald Sun, the bulk of the charges were traffic and drugs offenses. And shortly before the crash, Lim was ordered to undertake a drug and alcohol program. Now, 5 months after her death, Ms. Donato's family have expressed outrage at Lim's apparent disregard for the law. It's obvious that he has no respect for the law or anyone else around him, Ms. Donato's mother Elena told the Herald Sun. Clearly he did not change his behavior and learn his lesson. He has continued to drive unlicensed and on drugs. On the day he killed Lisa, he was affected by drugs, lack of sleep and still chose to drive, she added. Before her tragic death, Miss Donato had the world at her feet and had just moved in with her partner of 10 years, Sean. Following the crash, Victoria police warned that deaths involving drug driving were far too common on the state's roads. At the time, Assistant Commissioner Doug Fryer said, "Lisa is sadly one of the human faces of road trauma." Lim remains on remand after pleading guilty to culpability. It was the first event to be held at her newest restaurant, Thumdum. And owner Lisa Vanderpump joined in the festivities on Wednesday as she took to the red carpet of the DailyMail.com and Daily Mail summer party in West Hollywood. The 57-year-old restaurateur dazzled in white as she was joined by her husband of 36 years, Ken Todd. The reality TV star looked ageless in a slinky white dress which boasted a plunging neckline and spaghetti straps. On her feet she wore glittery silver heels, and kept the silver theme going with her jewelry, which included an ornate teardrop diamond necklace and silver drop earrings. The Real Housewife of Beverly Hills went for a minimalist effect with her arms, wearing only a simple silver bracelet on her right wrist. Her wavy brunette tresses were worn loose and cascaded down her bare shoulders. On Lisa's arm was husband Ken, who looked dapper in a black suit over a white dress shirt. The pair have been married since 1982, having become engaged only 6 weeks after they first met. They have 2 children together, daughter Pandora, born 1986, and adopted son Max, born 1991. The DailyMail.com and Daily Mail summer party was held at Louisiana's hottest new bar and lounge, Thumdum, which opened its doors for the very first time just for the event. It is the newest Vanderpump establishment in West Hollywood, California. Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Todd, along with her new business partners Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz, have been working hard for more than a year to launch the venue. Nick Lane, a Miami-based industrial designer and creative director, helped to bring Vanderpump's vision for the bar to life, while Sandoval and Schwartz have been developing signature cocktails. Last year, Vanderpump offered Sandoval and Schwartz a chance to go into business. They both agreed to put in $50,000 each for 5% stake in the bar. Locals have slammed a millionaire landlord for demanding they pay £5,000 to use their own driveways. Ian Jones bought a road behind a row of cottages in Penrhyn Side, North Wales, last April. The Rolls-Royce driver sent letters to the 14 homeowners asking if they could each pay £350 so he could renovate the track. Mr. Jones wanted to widen the road and cut back the hedges and trees, and told the residents they could use it if they coughed up the cash. But he claims he did not receive a reply from any of the residents and has now installed a gate at the bottom. Residents are furious and have said they can't park their vehicles behind their homes. One homeowner told The Sun Online, "He is just doing it because he can. He has the money, so why not? None of us on this road are happy about the gate being put there. Some residents have superglued the lock, and at Christmas they put tinsel around it, which isn't the way to solve it, but it inconveniences him. Because he has money, he thinks he can do whatever he wants and just throw money at it." Another raging local said, "He's got money, so thinks he can do whatever he wants. I just think he is so arrogant. I have had plenty of run-ins with him, but he won't come near us now. It's a shame because he is causing all these problems for people who live here and come on holiday here. If people pay it, they are just showing him that he can do what he wants, but he needs to learn that he can't." And a third resident added, "I personally haven't had any run-ins with him about the gate, but it is upsetting my neighbors and friends, and that is what I'm bothered about." Mr. Jones, who owns the local Rose-on-Sea Golf Club in Llandudno, said the track's former owner had issues with them using the road in the past. He said, "I can categorically say that it's not true. People have always had access with their cars to the back of their houses." Mr. Jones also claims he had to install CCTV cameras when the lock on the gate was vandalized with glue 4 times. He told the Daily Post, "The cottage owners have never wanted to pay for any maintenance. A letter was sent asking for £350, but nobody got back to me." Mr. Jones denied residents' claims that he wanted to renovate the track. The death toll after devastating 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck the popular tourist destination of Lombok in Indonesia has risen to 14. More than 160 people were injured, while buildings were reduced to rubble when the quake hit the island next to Bali on Sunday morning, while many were still asleep. A Malaysian tourist visiting the popular trekking destination of Mount Rinjani was among those killed after the quake sparked landslides, according to police. The quake was so powerful it could be felt on the neighboring island of Bali, Indonesia's top tourist destination and a top travel spot for Brits. Sutopo Purwonugroho, the disaster mitigation agency's spokesman, said the focus was now on helping survivors and rebuilding after houses were razed to the ground. He said, "People are gathering on the streets and empty fields to avoid collapsing buildings. The main focus now is evacuation and rescue. Some of the injured are still being treated at clinics." Around 66 quakes were recorded after the initial tremor, with the largest aftershock recorded at 5.7 magnitude, said the disaster mitigation agency. It was only 4.35 miles deep, a shallow depth that would have amplified its effect, and was centered 31 miles northeast of the city of Mataram, the U.S. Geological Survey (USE) said. Jean-Paul Volkert, who was walking by the quake while sleeping in the Puncak Hotel near Sanggigi on Lombok, said, "We jumped out of our beds to avoid anything falling on our heads. I've been walking around, but so far there is no damage. We were very surprised as the water in the pools was swaying like a wild sea." There were waves in the pools, but only for 20 to 30 seconds. The people in the villages may have damages. It's still early morning here. Video footage showed ambulances lining the streets of Lombok and many houses damaged with only parts of brick walls standing. The quake forced authorities to close the Mount Rinjani National Park over fears of a landslide around the mountain. Siti Sumarni, a Sambalan resident, said, "It happened so suddenly at around 6 in the morning. Suddenly everything simply collapsed. My child was inside the house. Thankfully he survived." Standing outside a green tent set up on a dusty field, she said nothing was left of her house. A magnitude 6.4 earthquake is considered strong and is capable of causing severe damage. The European Mediterranean Seismological Center (EMSC), the European Quake Agency, put the magnitude at 6.5. The earthquake was on land and did not trigger any waves or tsunami. Quakes are common in Indonesia, which is located on the seismically active ring of fire that surrounds the shores of the Pacific Ocean. We pay for your stories. Do you have a story for the Sun Online News team? Email us at tips@the-sun.co.uk. President Donald Trump has attacked London Mayor Sadiq Khan yet again, this time accusing him of doing a very bad job on terrorism and crime. Speaking on the eve of his visit to Britain yesterday, the president said Khan was doing a terrible job in the capital by allowing migrants to flock to the city. He has clashed with the Labour mayor several times in the past, including over his administration's visa policy and most recently over Khan's decision to allow a gigantic Trump blimp to fly over London. Speaking to The Sun, Trump said, "Take a look at the terrorism that is taking place. Look at what is going on in London. I think he has done a very bad job on terrorism." He added, "I think he has done a bad job on crime. If you look, all of the horrible things going on there, with all of the crime that is being brought in." London was devastated by 4 terror attacks last year, at Westminster, London Bridge, Parsons Green and Finsbury Park. Trump also accused Khan of failing to show respect for the world's wealthiest and most powerful nation. "I think he has not been hospitable to a government that is very important," he said. "No, he might not like the current president, but I represent the United States. I also represent a lot of people in Europe, because a Londoner has given up his city job and high-flying lifestyle to build a £4,000 hobbit home in the Welsh countryside." Chris Harbour owned 2 properties and enjoyed a bustling social life, but decided to quit his job as a lift engineer in the heart of the capital 3 years ago. The 31-year-old said the daily commute and financial strain of living in London left him feeling tired and unfulfilled. He sold his house and buy-to-let flat to close his £400,000 mortgages and used the money he gained to buy a 18.5-acre plot of land in South Wales he found on eBay. After around 18 months of building the £4,000 building from natural materials, Chris says he is happier than he's ever been. He said, "My family thought it was probably a little bit crazy. And the surface of everything I was doing quite well. I was successful, I owned 2 properties and had a good job in London. But I wasn't happy. So I think they thought it was a bit crazy and I was a bit stupid for selling up because financially it was a poor decision. For my well-being, It was a very good decision, and it didn't take long for my family to come round to the idea. His new home is powered by hydro and solar power, allowing him to turn on lights, boil a kettle and even access the internet without paying any bills. Chris, who now earns money from woodcraft, used second-hand windows, pipes and other fittings along with wood, sand, clay and straw to create the property. He is now enjoying a life of no commitments and wants to extend the home beyond its current predicted lifespan of 20 years. He said, "The idea of working for 2/3 of your life and having very little time to socialize and do hobbies, it just doesn't sit right. Even though I don't earn much now." Travelers are always looking to escape the cold snap, to enjoy the sizzling weather at a sunnier destination. And it's no wonder hundreds of millions of people from all walks of life visit Asia every year for its exotic beaches, delicious cuisines, picturesque scenery, and explore cultural experiences. To make your next holiday planning easy, the experts at Lonely Planet have revealed the 10 best places to visit in Asia for 2018. But can you guess the number one location that tops the list? Asia is such a vast and diverse continent for anyone dreaming of an escape. Lonely Planet's Asia-Pacific media spokesman Chris Sihler said, "Our experts have combed through thousands of recommendations to pick the best destinations to visit over the next 12 months. From Nagasaki in Japan, to Irigain Bay in Sri Lanka. This is a lineup to inspire a multitude of travelers. Here, Lonely Planet has revealed the ultimate guide to the must-see cities in Asia to help you seek out the spots you simply cannot afford to miss. 1. Busan, South Korea. South Korea's Busan packs an eclectic offering of activities to suit all travelers. Feast on season at the country's largest fish market, or settle into sizzling hot springs. The city is famously known for its beaches, mountains and temples. A stunning confluence of scenery, culture and cuisine. Hike hills to Buddhist temples. Poised to steal the spotlight, Busan is East Asia's culture city for 2018 and will be at its most vibrant with colorful events showcasing the country's cultural heritage, from street art festivals to traditional dance shows. 2. Uzbekistan changes afoot in a country that has remained largely closed off to the wider world due to tight control following the end of the Soviet era. Uzbekistan has long held sway over travelers' imaginations, with its dreamy mosaic-clad mosques and Silk Road lore. In 2017 the city took huge strides in opening up to tourism, announcing visa-free and e-visa schemes, new air routes and extensions to its shiny high-speed rail line, making access to its arsenal of jeweled architecture and ancient cities easier than ever. 3. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The southern supercity of Ho Chi Minh City somehow keeps getting cooler. Aging apartment blocks are being colonized by vintage clothes stores and independent coffee shops. Innovative breweries are fueling one of the best craft beer scenes in Southeast Asia, and the eclectic venues are strengthening the local music scene. Add in long-standing attractions the War Remnants Museum and a pioneering street food scene, and this buzzing Asian megalopolis is in no danger of going out of style. 4. Western Ghats, India. The Western Ghats offer an atmospheric mirror to Shimla and Darjeeling, with added jungle appeal, coffee, tea and spice plantations, charmingly dated colonial outposts, thundering waterfalls, and a steam-powered mountain railway. These rugged hills are UNESCO listed as one of the top spots for biodiversity in the world, protecting the Neelakurinji flower, which blooms only once every 12 years and will be painting the hills in purple livery from August to October 2018. 5. Nagasaki, Japan. Foremost, Nagasaki is synonymous with the tragic atomic bombing of August 1945, but remarkably, the city has converted the catastrophe into a call for peace, exemplified by the tranquil Nagasaki Peace Park and the Atomic Bomb Museum. However, Nagasaki's identity transcends one violent act. Visit a new foreign trade museum housed in Japan's oldest church, or pass the verdant harbor towards the hiking routes that snake through the surrounding volcanic hills. 6. Chiang Mai, Thailand. This former capital of the Lanna Kingdom feels plucked from the pages of history, where visitors browse stalls of antique jewelry among archaic alleyways. Yet despite this, a young, creative population has taken up residency in Chiang Mai, bringing an exciting buzz alongside majestic chetas stupas are cafes known for their latte art, mural-walled fusion cuisine restaurants, and the newly opened, award-winning Mayam Contemporary Art Museum. 7. Lumbini, Nepal. For decades, Lumbini was somewhere travelers flashed through en route from India to Nepal, unaware they had passed within yards of the birthplace of the historical Buddha. Today, Lumbini is on the ascendancy. A new international airport is under construction, offering a safer route into Nepal, and ever more awing temples are springing up. Despite these developments, the town's cardinal draw will remain its tranquility. 8. Arugame Bay, Sri Lanka. This surf town on Sri Lanka's east coast has managed to retain its cool as holidaymakers swarm the rest of the country's ancient citadels and hiker-strewn hill stations. Barefooted boarders sprawl outside vegan cafes, but if the turquoise swells can't tug you in, Arugame has grown its own land offering with beachside bars and makeshift music festivals. Plus a handy proximity to Kumano National Park, home to leopards, elephants and crocodiles. 9. Sichuan Province, China. Far-flung villages, towering skylines, giant pandas and fiery cuisine. Sichuan Province is a microcosm of modern China. Gain perspective surveying the Laishn Grand Buddha, or climb Maishn to absolve a lifetime's sins. Ride the first section of the Sichuan-Tibet Railway to visit time-frozen Tibetan villages. Or spot the mushrooming of luring brewpubs and boutique hotels in cosmopolitan Chengdu. 10. Komodo National Park, Indonesia. New flight connections have made Komodo National Park more accessible than ever. Aside from laying eyes on the illustrious Komodo dragon, visitors to this cerulean silhouetted archipelago, looking good on the beach, just got a whole lot easier, thanks to the bomb-boosting, curve-creating bikini. Hip grazing swimwear is making waves this summer, with fans including model Emily Ratajkowski and singer Rita Ora. The Baywatch style flatters the figure by flashing a little extra flesh. A high-rise cut gives the illusion of a classic hourglass shape while lengthening the legs. The bigger the V, the more pronounced the curves. A Louisiana teenager claims to have spoken with God while stranded for more than 10 hours alone in the ocean after he was apparently dragged out to sea. Blake Spataro, 19, was doing some light swimming while visiting St. Simon Island off the coast of Georgia on Wednesday when he was suddenly yanked into the Atlantic Ocean. Spataro said he desperately tried to call for help, but no one was around to hear his pleas. "I didn't want to die out there. I was talking to God the entire night," Spataro said. According to Jax TV, Spataro's family contacted the U.S. Coast Guard, who went on a frantic search for the teenager as he was left stranded in the middle of the sea, floating on his back when his arms got tired. On the verge of giving up, Spataro said that he was revitalized after spotting lights from a nearby Coast Guard ship. He managed to fight through crashing waves until finally landing on the shore of a golf course a few miles from St. Simon Island. "I wanted to live. I thought I was too young to die, and I simply didn't want to end there," Spataro said. "I am truly blessed to be alive today," he said. Spataro's mother, Janice, who had not accompanied her son and ex-husband to the island, said that she knew intuitively that her son had been lost at sea when the Coast Guard called. "I knew he was in the water. I felt it," Janice Dansby Spataro told Fox News. "I prayed to God all night long. I was praying, and I reached out on social media to ask for prayer, because there's power in prayer." After confirming that Spataro was being treated in the hospital, Director of Glynn County Emergency Management Agency Jay Wiggins sent out a social media post expressing his delight that the teenager was found safe. The opportunity to speak with the young man's father and let our public safety partners know the positive outcome of this situation made my day, and I wanted to share it with all of you, Wiggins said in a Facebook post. Justin Irwin, Senior Chief with the U.S. Coast Guard in Brunswick, said that he visited Spataro in the hospital, who was recovering from dehydration and exhaustion. "I've been in the Coast Guard for 18 years, and I have never seen anything like this," Irwin said. Asked by Jax TV to sum up the experience, Spataro, a woman has detailed her 15-year battle with an eating disorder that led her to have an Adderall and diet pill addiction. McCall Dempsey, 36, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, realized at a very young age that she was not comfortable in her own skin. "Growing up in the South, we as young girls were expected to look the part, be the part," McCall said in an interview with Megyn Kelly Today. The expectation to be the perfect package started to influence McCall's health at the age of 15. "Scroll down for video. I can remember at a really young age not being comfortable in my own skin," McCall said. "I was a late bloomer. I was really tall and gangly. And so that's when I noticed, well, maybe if I change my body I will be worthy." At 15 years old, McCall started to focus on different diets and exercise rituals so she could achieve the body image that she wanted. By her sophomore year of high school, she had gotten her hands on Adderall to help aid weight loss. "What really catapulted me into the eating disorder was when I got my hands on the drug Adderall," McCall told Megyn Kelly. Adderall is a medication commonly prescribed to people who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder (ADHD) and works by altering the natural chemicals within the brain. But the drug can also work as an appetite suppressant. When McCall first started to take the drug, despite not having ADHD, the weight easily came off and people started to compliment how thin she looked. Those compliments slowly turned into concern as McCall lost more and more weight. Before heading off to college at the University of Mississippi, McCall told her mom she was worried about gaining the dreaded freshman 15 single quote that everyone talked about. Her mom, who had no idea at the time about her daughter's eating disorder, encouraged her to get a scale to help keep tabs on if she was gaining weight or not. "It's something in our society that we get so hung up on the number on the scale," McCall said. She quickly became reliant on the scale while going through her first year of college, and it only helped heighten her eating disorder. "While my friends were out eating late night, I was forming a relationship with the scale," McCall said. Her new normal became working out at least 6 times a week to ensure she didn't gain weight during her freshman year of college. McCall would also fluctuate between anorexia and bulimia while becoming more dependent on Adderall and diet pills. Since her body wasn't receiving the nutrition it needed to function, McCall had symptoms such as blackouts and heart palpitations often. "I didn't know that I was suffering from an eating disorder because I looked fine," she said. This continued on after McCall graduated from the University of Mississippi and married her college sweetheart, Jordan, who also did not know his wife was suffering from an extreme eating disorder. "I was literally killing myself behind closed doors," McCall said. Her addiction to diet pills only increased during her marriage to a point where she opened her own P.O. box so the drugs would not get sent to her house. One evening, McCall almost overdosed on diet pills with her husband only one room away, but he never realized she was suffering. "I'm laying on my bathroom floor, praying to God, 'God, if you let me survive tonight, I swear I'll throw these things away,'" McCall said about that evening. "And my husband is in the next room." He had no idea. After she survived that night, she threw away the diet pills only to fish them out of the garbage a couple days later. It wasn't until McCall started training for triathlons that she sought help from other people. McCall later enrolled in the Carolina House, where she was able to seek help for her eating disorder. After 81 days in inpatient treatment, McCall was released and had to learn how to survive with her eating disorder in the real world. To pay it forward to everyone who helped her overcome her eating disorder, McCall started a non-profit called Southern Smash to help other people. The organization travels to different college campuses to raise awareness about eating. Love Island couples come and go quickly on the ITV2 show. But now the dating program is in the final few days and fans would have thought each contestant would be happy in their pairing. And tonight, the Islanders went on their final super dates, with Alex George and Alexandra Kane driving a Ferrari around the Spanish island. While on their romantic car ride, the pair opened up on their ongoing relationship, and it seems they're at different stages. Alexandra confessed immediately, "I have to be honest and say I absolutely love a guy that's really passionate about something. And I know you're so passionate about cars. It's incredibly attractive." She continued by trying to find out a bit more of his true feelings towards her by discussing the future once they leave the Love Island villa. Alexandra gushed, "I'm really looking forward to meeting your friends, your family, and just kind of seeing how our lives will merge together. I think that's really exciting. I definitely feel like we just need to go outside and have some fun and just be ourselves. I'm so excited to get on the outside with you." She added, "Sometimes in here I've felt a bit hesitant because I know that you're cautious about not moving too fast and things like that, and I am quite an affectionate person. There's a little bit of worry inside that when we come out, are you going to be able to give a little bit more? Alex didn't seem to give her much confidence with her answer. Reply how he hopes he can give more affection to her once they are on the outside world. The doctor went on, it's not always easy. I think other couples are trying to rush. I think we're moving at what's comfortable for us. I'm happy with that. I think slow and steady wins a race sometimes. And when they got back to the villa, it seemed Alex's worries didn't go away as he confided in Jack Fincham how he wasn't feeling the right spark with Alexandra, despite giving it a good go. Alex admitted, we just don't seem to. It doesn't seem to feel right. I don't have the right feelings that I should be. The thing is, she wants to move at quite a quick pace. She wants lots of affection, and she wants things to move quite quickly. I just can't match that. I feel like things just aren't quite right with us. It's so hard to explain, but I just don't have the feelings that I feel I should have. On the outside, I do like to take things slower. I wouldn't want to rush in too quickly. Jack insists it would be wise to give Alexandra another chance, insisting she hasn't really pushed him too far. Things got worse when they sat down for a chat later on in the day, and Alex tried to let her down gently. Alexandra was positively furious as Alex dumped her and an argument ensued. She stormed off at the end, insisting it was a complete waste of time for everyone. Is this the end of their relationship for good? Or will Alexandra give Alex yet another chance? But viewers were furious with the scenes and flocked to Twitter to share their thoughts. As one wrote, Alex is pathetic. The worst. Trash. A second raged, what the hell is Alex doing? #Love Island. You don't go from talking about meeting the Love Island's drives. Alex asked Alexandra for a second chance during the recoupling last week after they both had their heads turned and were rejected. Although the pair seemed to be getting on well and even enjoyed a date in a Ferrari last night, Alex called time on the romance. He explained that he didn't want their romance to move as quickly as Alexandra had hoped. Alex added that he didn't think he had a spark with Alexandra after she confessed she was looking forward to meeting his friends and family. The medic told fellow Islander Jack Fincham, we just don't seem to. It doesn't seem to feel right. I don't have the right feelings that I should be. The thing is, she wants to move at quite a quick pace. She wants lots of affection, and she wants things to move quite quickly. I just can't match that. I feel like things just aren't quite right with us. Jack tried to persuade Alex to give the romance another go, but he wouldn't listen. Alex was later seen trying to gently end the relationship, but Alexandra called him out and branded him pathetic. Before she stormed off, she claimed he had wasted both of their time. Following their breakup, it looks certain that Alex will be one of the next contestants to leave the villa. Bookmakers Coral believe Alex and Alexandra are most likely to miss the final next Monday. The odds on the couple leaving together have been slated at 8/11. However, spokesperson Harry Aitkenhead noted it is possible that Alex or Alexandra could leave on their own, adding, there are odds-on favorites to be the next couple to leave the villa. Megan Barton Hansen and Wes Nelson may also miss out on the final. The bookmakers have revealed the odds the couple will be the next to leave are at just 2/1. Meanwhile, Paul Knops and Laura Anderson and Josh Denzel and Casimir Crossley's odds to leave next are at 4/1. However, bookies seem certain that Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer will make it to the final. The odds on the couple leaving the villa are at 33/1. It may have already been revealed why many of the contestants don't use the luxurious infinity swimming pool in the sun-soaked Mallorquin villa on Love Island. It was recently confirmed by one hopeful that the ITV2 reality competition avoid filming the residents while they're eating too. This is reportedly because the group use the time to take off their microphones so they can replace the batteries, and there have been various reasons for potentially avoiding jumping in the pool water. These could be for fear of ruining hair or makeup, or even because the chlorine can change the color of hair dye. But one thing many fans haven't thought of yet is exactly who does the necessary cooking and cleaning around the lavish abode. Last year's winner Amber Davies has now shed light on the situation. According to The Sun, the 21-year-old revealed not only do the Islanders have their food cooked for them, but they have to do the washing up as a result. What's more, this is divided up into a rota for the couples currently living in the villa. The villa got cleaned twice or once a week, but everything's dead clean, Amber explained. You do have to wash up sometimes. But we would do it on a couple's rota. The only thing that was a mess was all of the girls' clothes, shoes and makeup everywhere. Speaking about the variety of food the hopefuls are served, Amber continued, you get to eat a selection of food and it's lovely food. You do get to choose what to eat, and it all comes in separate containers. ITV bosses are meticulous about making sure all the contestants have what they need on a day-to-day basis, particularly when it comes to serious allergies. Montana was really allergic to nuts and we had to keep some dishes well away from the kitchen less than, Amber went on. But they could cater to everything. Some people are lactose or gluten intolerant. Mealtimes weren't perfect, and the television personality confessed some summer creatures were a real problem in the house. Insisting there weren't any rodents, however, Amber reminisced, I don't remember seeing a rat, and I would remember seeing a rat, because I'm a baby. But there are wasps everywhere because when they bring lunch out all the wasps would just go straight to the chicken. We were eating chicken and wasps for dinner. Love Island contestants Donnie Dyer and Jack Fincham have been the closest couple on the ITV2 show throughout. The pair met on the first day and haven't strayed from each other, but that hasn't stopped fans worrying for Jack. With Donnie's dad being EastEnders' hard man, Danny Dyer, it seems they were nervous for him. And now Love Island fans will get the moment they have been waiting for, as the reality show airs its famous Meet the Parents episode. Tonight's episode ended with a shock bombshell that there would be one more dumping before the finale on Monday night. But it seems Donnie and Jack are safe, as they featured in the trailer for the next episode. There, the cute couple come face to face with Danny in a moment everyone has been waiting to see. The teasing clip saw the EastEnders star sitting alongside wife, Joanne Muzz, sitting together on a screen. Jack and Donnie were giggling away with the parents and it seems everything is going well. But will Jack make a good first impression with Danny? Fans will have to wait until Sunday to see how the first meeting goes so close to the highly anticipated finale. Nevertheless, Twitter was set alight by the announcement, and Love Island viewers flocked to share their excitement. One wrote, Can you imagine if Love Island are tricking us into thinking Danny Dyer isn't going into the villa by giving Donnie a surprise video message, but then he walks through the doors? Another added, "So does Danny know that Donnie is moving out or nah?" A third laughed, "Danny Dyer on Skype. Where's he? I'm gonna kill him, haha." Others were positively fuming Danny isn't physically going into the villa. One viewer said, "So you're telling me that the one thing we wanted was to have the Danny Dyer on Love Island, but all we get is a Skype call?" A second posted, "Now having Donnie on the show was massively misleading if Danny Dyer isn't going into the villa for the Meet the Parents episode. I feel robbed fame." Another shared, "After all that Danny Dyer is doing." Love Island favorites, Donnie Dyer and Jack Fincham, have been solidly in a relationship since the beginning. However, the pair could face their first test in the coming weeks, according to fans on Twitter. Tonight's episode sees the villa take part in a Twitter challenge. But before that, Jack and Donnie share a sweet moment by the fire pit. He tells her, "I've said to people that I love them, but I've never felt like how I feel in myself about you. I love you. I do. I am excited. I feel like I've changed, and I feel like a big part of how I've changed has been meeting you. You've helped me, and I feel like you are what I needed. I'm getting emotional. I feel like you were exactly what I needed to meet at this point in my life." But the following day during the challenge, the pair are delivered a bit of a bombshell. Islanders get to hear what viewers have been saying about them as the show has been airing. Sam Bird and Georgia Steele spin a tombola with bingo balls, and each ball will contain a week about people in the villa, with some words cut out. Couples then compete to correctly fill in the blanks, with each correct answer scoring a point. Clearly referring to Jack and Donnie, one bingo ball reads, "Please make Danny Dyer come into the villa and confront Jack over sleeping with 50 girls plus blank." Some couples guess cheating as the blank, while others wonder if it's the number 30. Who is right? And with Donnie already feeling sensitive about the issue, how will she react? And on tonight's dramatic Love Island installment, 2 Islanders will be dumped. New girl, Alexandra Kane, has a difficult decision to make as 3 boys want her love. Dr. Alex George, Keir Nichols, and Idris Virgo all want to be in a couple with the newcomer. Tonight Love Island fans tuned in to see fan favorites Donnie and Jack crowned this year's winners. Alongside sharing the prize money of £50,000, Donnie and Jack have made Love Island history. They are the first couple to win the show without having had sex in the villa. It comes after the pair coupled up with one another from the very beginning of the show and have since gone on to become officially boyfriend and girlfriend. Despite having shared a bed together for the last 8 weeks, Donnie and Jack apparently decided to abstain from sex to avoid embarrassing her well-known father, Danny Dyer. And if they had had sex, it hasn't been mentioned during any of the DBS, Do Bits Society meetings or aired during any episode. Recently, Love Island viewers saw the contestants' parents enter the villa and Jack and Donnie's family met one another. Donnie's infamous father Danny didn't make a physical appearance, but he was video linked into the living room TV where he met Jack for the first time. Whilst Danny gave Jack his seal of approval, he also vowed to destroy his home if he and Donnie had sex on the show. During the finale episode, Donnie and Jack took part in the Love Island 2018 Summer Ball, where they read their declarations of love to one another. Viewers saw them both reduced to tears by each other's confessions, with Donnie admitting she never believed she'd find someone like Jack in the villa. She read through tears, "Jack, when I first entered the villa 8 weeks ago, I never imagined that in a million years I would have met someone as special as you. From our first date together on the beach, to our trip in a hot air balloon, we have already made so many special memories, and I can't wait for even more. I have had the summer of my life in here and I owe so much of that to you, Jack," she added. Attempting to hold back the tears, Jack gushed over Donnie and insisted she changed him for the better. Jack responded, "You are everything that I've ever wanted in a girl." The series ended with second place going to Laura Anderson and Paul Knopps, whilst Josh Denzel and Case Crossley were in third place. Host Caroline Flack announced fourth place was given to Megan Barton Hanson. As this year's series of Love Island draws to a close, 5 couples remain in the race to win the £50,000 cash prize. Fan favorites Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer have been strong contenders to snatch the crown as king and queen of the villa from the outset. Starting out as friends, the two have grown closer in the past 7 weeks and are now officially boyfriend and girlfriend. But could their Essex roots mean that they had already won the competition before setting foot in the villa? Fans of the hit ITV show have noticed that Essex does have the winning touch, with at least one member of 2 of the previous winning couples coming from the county. Taking to Twitter, viewers were quick to share their theories on the winning formula. One user wrote, "Just clocked that if Donnie and Jack win this series, the last 3 would have been won by boys from Essex. That's powerful. #Love Island." Another added, "Are an Essex couple going to win every year? #Love Island." In 2016, Cara De La Hoyt and Nathan Massey won the second series of the rebooted reality show. Both originally from Essex, the two have made several appearances in The Only Way is Essex and are proud parents to their 7-month-old baby son. Although they split less than a year after leaving the villa, the two have since reunited and recently got engaged when Nathan returned to the place where it all began to pop the question. Last year's winning couple, Kemstine and Amber Davies, also had the Essex advantage. However, the love story didn't last and the pair split in December 2017. The winners of Love Island 2015, Max Morley and Jessica Hayes, didn't actually come from Essex, but runner-up John Clark did have Essex roots. John and his partner Hannah Elizabeth got engaged in the final episodes of the series, but their relationship came to an end away from the cameras. So could Donnie and Jack follow in their fellow Essex Islanders' footsteps and have a brighter future away from the villa? Social media figures also seem to support the couple's win, with social media agency, Social Chain, stating that the couple had received 64,298 mentions from 100,000 tweets used to collect the data. In last night's episode, the future looked bright for the young lovebirds. Jack asked Donnie to move in with him when they leave the villa. Along with partner Jack Fincham, Donnie has won over Love Island fans with her down-to-earth charm, and they're likely to want to see more of her. But the 21-year-old might be ready to take on another reality challenge not long after finishing on the dating competition. Donnie could be headed down under as some think she'll be going into I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here later this year. Ladbrokes have Donnie at odds of 2-1 to appear on the 2018 series of the ITV reality show. A spokesperson for the bookies said, "Donnie Dyer has all the makings of a potential queen of the jungle, so it's no surprise to see her odds of entering I'm a Celeb being so short." Meanwhile, the odds of Donnie appearing along with BoJack is currently at 5-1. Donnie's already a dab hands at reality TV, having featured on Survival of the Fittest earlier this year prior to her Love Island stint. However, she had to leave the program after dislocating her shoulder during a strenuous challenge. Meanwhile, Donnie's currently a strong favorite to take home the title of this year's winning couple on Love Island. Donnie and Jack have been together since the first day of the show, and in spite of a few bumps in the road, they've been inseparable. Last night on the program, the couples were given plastic dolls to look after as part of a parenting challenge. During the task, the pair discussed their future together as they doted on baby Kimberly. Jack declared, "This is actually like being in the future. I'm sorry, this is actually like being in the actual future. Mate, I can't wait to take her down the park and that." Strolling through the park, Donnie then questioned, "Would you want a baby with me?" Jack replied, "Yeah. I said that already. Not now, maybe when I'm about 30 odd. I think we're going to be really good parents, don't you?" The lovebirds then opened up on what kind of parents they'd like to be to any potential offspring. Jack said, "When I've actually got a kid, I want to be a really fun parent. I want to do so much fun stuff. They're never going to want for anything. We're going to be proper stable. They're always going to have what they want. I want them to be so polite. I think being polite's so important." While Donnie reflected, "I want her to just be able to tell me everything. How I am with my mom. I want her to be able to do whatever she's done, be able to confide in me, and for me to always be able." Love Island host Ian Sterling dropped yet another bombshell tonight at the end of the ITV2 reality show. He explained how viewers need to vote for their favorite couple and the least popular risked being dumped. And immediately after the episode ended, fans flocked to Twitter to share their thoughts on who they were saving. It seems the initial reaction was to beg other viewers to save Donnie Dyer and Jack Fincham. One wrote, "I 100% think that Jack and Donnie will win Love Island. They have been through so much as a couple, but I think Josh and Kays will come second." A second gushed, love Donnie and Jack, hope they win, I will be voting for sure." A third shared, "If Jack and Donnie don't win I am maybe fuming." But it seems others were more focused on who they want to leave. All eyes are on Laura Crane and Jack Fowler, who have recently had their trying times on the show, but seem to have worked things out. Was it all too little too late? Viewers seem to think so as they flocked to pray Laura and Jack would be dumped. Another added, "Well, it's obvious that Laura and Jack will be dumped tomorrow. I'm gonna miss seeing Jack on my TV screen." A third agreed, saying, "I predict that new Laura and new Jack get dumped tomorrow, with an outside chance of Wes and Megan." But others thought Alex George and Alexandra Kane could bite the dust after their recent turbulent 48 hours on Love Island. "Hope Alex and Alexandra get dumped. I like Alexandra, but I'm sick of Dr. Alex," said one. A second shared, "Alex and Alex going to be dumped surely." A third commented, I actually want Alex and Alexandra to be dumped off the island. Alex can go back to the NHS where he belongs and Alexandra can go find the man she deserves. Last night, viewers spotted a bizarre item ahead of Jack and Donnie's big row. A McDonald's cup sat on the drawers. Love Island viewers saw the arrival of the two new contestants this week in the form of Idris and Kieran. However, they didn't arrive alone, as not long after the lads stepped into the villa did new girl Alexandra Kane enter, ready to get dating. She began her introduction by inviting Dr. Alex George on a romantic breakfast date. The date went well, and Dr. Alex came back buzzing for some more interaction with Alexandra. But the new lads were also eager to get to know Alexandra, putting her in a position of power. And tonight saw Alexandra making her final decision between Dr. Alex, Idris, and Kieran. After deciding on sticking with her first choice, Dr. Alex, the new lads were left to go home. Speaking about their exit, both of the ex-Islanders confess that they are gutted to be going home. And Idris went on to mention that infamous kiss between Georgia Steele and Jack Fowler. He explained, "When I was speaking with Laura, she seemed like a nice, decent girl, so I decided to give her my opinion. That was how I saw things. That was my opinion of what happened between New Jack and Georgia on their date. To me, it looked like New Jack went in for the kiss. I could be wrong and Jack could be right, but I felt it right to bring it up to Laura then because I thought she was a nice girl." Despite this controversial conversation, Idris admitted that he would like to return to the show. When asked if he would go back, he said, "Yes, I'd want to crack on more." And Kieran felt very much the same, as he would 100% want to re-enter the villa. But could the pair's short-lived time on the show grant them another shot at the Love Island crown? And if they were to return, would they continue to pine after Alexandra, or would they want to crack on with other members of the island? Tonight's show sparked fears of Jack and Laura Anderson's split after the show posted tweets about them. One tweet read, "Blank isn't even convincing himself he's into blank, let alone me." But unfortunately for Laura, the villa assumed this note was about her and Jack, leaving her upset about their relationship. As the rocky relationship continues, Sunday night's episode of Love Island stunned fans with the strange appearance of what looked like two outsiders swimming in the pool. The moment came during a heated conversation between volatile couple Georgia Steele and Sam Bird. Behind them, two figures could be seen swimming in the pool, but fans weren't exactly sure who they were. Some fans even likened the strangers to middle-aged men that were a little out of place on the island. Fans ran to Twitter to ask who these people were. One wrote, "Who are these two middle-aged men swimming in the pool? Laugh out loud # Love Island." Another said, "Who the F *** is this random old man swimming behind Georgia?" They added, "Love Island being found out for being so fake this year # Love Island. Who's swimming in the pool behind Georgia here? It doesn't look like any of the lads in the villa?" asked a third. Many other fans began joking about the situation, with one commenting, "When you're trying to have a serious relationship conversation and your dad is swimming in the pool behind you." However, as people began examining the footage, they quickly found the truth. Viewers found it wasn't a pair of intruders, but two members of the villa. The swimmers were eventually worked out to be Charlie Brake and Dr. Alex George. And fans found their presence hilarious, as they began commenting, "I can't take Georgia and Sam's conversation seriously when Alex and Charlie keep swimming past in the pool, ha 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 # Love Island." Another exclaimed, "Can't stop laughing at Charlie and Alex bobbing away in the swimming pool # Love Island." Tonight's episode of Love Island will see a new collection of Islanders arrive at the villa. The show will bring Stephanie Lamb and Laura Crane into the mix. These girls will be joined by Paul Knops and Josh Mayer. But Paul's arrival may spell disaster for Dr. Alex, as he likes the look of his beau Alexandra Kane. He said, "Alexandra Kane, I really like her. She seems to be a very relaxed girl and I think she can have a deep conversation." The Love Island 2018 is tonight at 9 p.m. on ITV2. The final will see the last 4 remaining couples, Donnie and Jack, Kaz and Josh, Laura and Paul and Wes and Megan, during their final 2 days in the villa before the winner is announced. A short teaser trailer released by ITV2 shows the finalists preparing for a black tie Islanders ball with the boys Jack, Wes, Paul and Josh looking emotional as the girls come down the stairs. The girls also got the chance to leave the villa to go dress shopping, unlike previous years when the boys had to pick the dress for their other half. It also shows the girls and boys attempting to write love letters to each other, which viewers will hear tonight. There will be moments of hilarity as the Islanders learn to salsa dance ahead of their ball and the boys saying goodbye to their famous DBS society. The public have been voting since 10 p.m. last night, and voting will close at 8:45 p.m. to announce who is in 4th place. Voting will then reopen again for the public to crown their Love Island winners. The winning couple will win £50,000, not to mention the numerous sponsorship deals and newfound fame they will experience after they leave the villa tonight. What time is the Love Island final? You can watch the Love Island final tonight live online via ITV's streaming site, ITV Hub. The show will be available on the site at 9 p.m. at the same time as it airs on TV on ITV2. Tonight's episode will be on from 9 p.m. to 10:35 p.m., half an hour longer than usual. If you somehow miss it, you can catch the full episode on ITV2 Hub after the show has finished airing at 10:35 p.m. Is the lie detector test accurate on Love Island? For the past 8 weeks, singletons have been entering the villa in Mallorca to find love. Each week, the least favorite Islander or couple would be dumped from the villa. 3 out of the 4 final couples are officially boyfriend and girlfriend and have even said "I love you" to each other. Last week Donnie asked Jack to move in with him and Megan asked boyfriend Wes to move with her to Southend. Only new couple Laura and Paul, who have been dating for 2 weeks, have not said they love each other. The potential winners of Love Island are barmaid Donnie Dyer and stationery sales manager Jack Fincham, makeup artist Kaz Crossley, and social media and lead Bible host Josh Denzel, air hostess Laura Anderson and model and carpenter Paul Knops, glamour model Megan Barton Hansen, and electrical and nuclear systems design engineer Wes Nelson. When did the parents go into the villa? Jack and Donnie have been the favorites to win since the show began on Monday the 4th of June. According to bookmakers across the board. They were the first couple to become boyfriend and girlfriend in the villa and the first to confirm they were moving in together. They've been given odds of 1/10 from a number of bookies such as Coral. However, they face competition from Josh Denzel and Casimir Crossley, currently at 7/1 on Ladbrokes. Third favorites to win are new couple Paul Knops and Laura Anderson, who Ladbrokes have put 14/1 on to win. Skybet has put Wes Nelson and Meg. Love Island is over for another year, yet what happens once the Islanders' time in the villa has come to an end? Do all the couples stay together and is it always a happily ever after story? Some former contestants have spoken about adapting to life after Love Island, and it sounds like it's tough adjusting to the real work outside of the villa. Former contestant Olivia revealed what it was like the day after when they reunited with their families at Stansted Airport. "It was sort of quick," she told the Huffington Post. "We saw them for an hour, and then we were rushed off and did some more filming. Until about 3 days after I got back, I didn't see my family properly," she added. Fellow former Islander Johnny Mitchell said, "Once you land, you're still in their pocket. I knew this whole thing had a shelf life," he admitted. With Love Island, a year passes, and you are essentially old news. "You have to make the most of it," he said. Olivia went on to talk about the mental strain she endured once the show was over. "My mum said I was in a bit of a state when I came out," she explained. "I was crying every day, I didn't eat properly, it was all a bit of a whirlwind, it was all stressful." She had been told that she could contact ITV at any time, but Olivia chose not to. "I never would have needed to speak to someone at ITV about that because they didn't understand me as a person," she explained. "For my mental health, I went to my family and friends, they were the ones who were there for me." However, Chris Hughes did opt to contact ITV's psychiatrist after the show had finished. "To have that contact available is a massive help," he said. "Those people are professionals, and they look at it from your perspective and an outside perspective, then put it all into one. I'm very grateful for that," he continued. However, Olivia did admit that the Love Island experience did change her for the better and that it helped her to grow as a person. "I'm no longer the Olivia I was in love." With only a few weeks remaining of this year's series of Love Island, contestants are coupling up to not only find love, but with the hope of getting into the final and winning their share of £50,000. And former contestant China Ellis, who was in last year's show alongside Olivia Attwood and Kempston, has spoken to Express.co.uk about this year's series, and in particular the tests the couples are made to go through. Last week, ITV decided to show the girls in the villa video clip, which included Jack reacting to seeing his ex Ellie Jones enter Casa Amor. Discussing Donnie's emotional reaction, China said, "That was quite mean. Obviously it's a TV show. It's not real life, it's a reality TV show. Things do happen, and when that video was shown it was all there to create drama and suspense of a TV show. If there wasn't any drama or a little bit of controversy it would be boring. Obviously it's upsetting, but then again it actually tests them and shows who's genuine and who's not. And from that video we can really see Donnie is genuine about Jack." China also discussed the fan-favorite couple, who she believes will definitely win the show. She said, "Jack and Donnie, they all win. If they get to the final and to win it, they deserve it." The former contestant also commented on how the islanders are well taken care of, not only during their time on the show but once they have left the villa. China commented, "You are bombarded with press when you leave. They (ITV) do have a duty of care, they handle that quite well. You get to see a psychologist whilst you're on the show, and when you come out you can see someone to make sure you're okay. They give you a booklet of information as well. They do look after you when you leave, and I'm sure as the years go by and everything builds up they will make sure it gets better." A spokesperson for Love Island confirmed the show takes its duty of care very seriously. "We discuss with Islanders, before and after the show, how their lives might change and the difficulties they might face," they said. "We direct them towards taking on professional representation after the villa, and help them through this process, so that they have experienced help as they face those pressures." Recently, Love Island fans saw the tension rise in the villa following Georgia Steele and Jack Fowler's kiss on their afternoon date. Jack, who was coupled up with Laura Anderson, spoke to Laura about his date with Georgia and told her about the shared kiss. However, he insisted that Georgia was the one who initiated the kiss, which Laura was not impressed about. Georgia was pulled aside by Laura and asked to explain how her date went with Jack. After Charlie Brake and Ellie Brown were dumped from the Love Island villa, Caroline Flack dropped a huge bombshell. She said, "Georgia and Sam, Megan and Wes, you're not quite safe yet. Your fate now lies in the hands of your fellow Islanders. You must now decide as a group who you think should remain as a couple in the villa." In a new teaser clip, the Islanders can be seen deciding which couple to keep on the island. Caroline can be heard to say, "You haven't been saved by the public or your fellow Islanders. Therefore you cannot stay on Love Island. It's either split up and remain in the villa or stay together and leave. Before you make that decision, I can tell you there are 2 new boys and 2 new girls waiting to enter the villa today. The new entrants include Stephanie Lamb, Laura Crane, Paul Knops and Josh Mayer. The latest arrivals could push Wes Nelson, Megan Barton Hansen, Georgia Steele and Sam Bird out of the show. Stephanie, 23, said, "I'm friends with Chris Hughes from last year's series. We got friendly this year and have been on a mate's date, but we're just friends. I have only had 2 serious boyfriends and I've not really dated around them. I hope they wouldn't say anything bad about me as a girlfriend. My last relationship was more serious. I was very much in love and he broke my heart, and that's why we're not together. We're on civil terms now. Sometimes I can be a loud eater and I still suck my thumb." Laura, 23, said, "I grew up surrounded by boys surfing, so I will sway more towards the guy for friendship. But I realize how important it is to have girlfriends. I obviously might have to tread on some toes at this point." Paul added, "Am I looking for love? At the age of 31, yes I am. It is a different experience, finding love in the Love Island villa. Physically, the person I'm most attracted to in the villa is Kaze. She is beautiful. And Alexandra, I really like her aura. She seems to be a very relaxed girl and I think she can have a deep conversation. I feel she has a bit about her. I'd like to get to know her." Josh, 21, explained he could be the one to swoop Georgia away, saying, "I want to find love. I want to come out with a girl who I look at and think, how the hell have I done that? In the villa, I've had my eye on Georgia for a while. Alexandra blew me away when I saw her. I'm not putting all my focus on one girl though. Love Island 2018 has seen its fair share of dumpings and recouplings, and it seems another could be on the cards. Georgia Steele recently partnered up with Sam Bird following her dumping by Josh Denzel. However, the arrival of two new boys have certainly turned her head. Following Idris Virgo and Kieran Nichols' arrival in the villa, it seems they are on the hunt for a girl. And they both rest their eyes on Georgia, who has had plenty of attention on her recently. Speaking to the cameras in the beach hut, Georgia admitted the first sight of them was certainly an interesting one. She confesses in tonight's Love Island, "We've got two new boys. I love boys. There's nothing wrong with a little harmless flirt every now and again, is there? A little wink here and there. I've got to keep Sam on his toes at the end of the day." And it seems she caught the eye of both newcomers, but it is Idris who really starts to make a move on her. During a chat by the fire pit, Idris grills Georgia on how close she really is to Sam. She replies, "Obviously I am very loyal. I'm a very loyal girl. Very loyal. And when I am with someone, I am completely loyal unless I am honest with them, tell them how I feel, then I crack on." Idris takes the opportunity to praise her loyalty, before admitting he wants her. Sam can do nothing but watch on as his girl gets to know the newcomers, and it seems he has mixed feelings on it. He tells the beach hut cameras, "I really like her. There's no one else in the villa for me. It's not nice seeing the person you like talking to a couple of new lads, but it is what it is." And the following day the drama continues, as Idris decides to make a move on Laura Anderson. She tells him, "I used to have a type. I was with Wes, now I'm seeing Jack. It's been a bit up in the air the past few days. I think he is keeping his options open, and so am I because you have to." As Idris hits back and grafts even harder, will he get Georgia or Laura? Love Island's fiery islander Georgia has been telling everyone at the villa how loyal she is. She has expressed how she continues to stay loyal to her friends, family, and partners through thick and thin. However, fans have begun pointing out that she made a bold claim in her first introduction video for the show. In the clip she said, "I have cheated but I haven't been in a serious relationship so it doesn't count." And people proceeded to point out the flaw in her statement. Fans on Twitter couldn't wait to explain the supposed hypocrisy from Georgia. One wrote, recap on MS loyal. "I have cheated but I haven't been in a serious relationship so it doesn't count, but you and Josh weren't serious." Another added, "Now I'm done. Georgia is actually finished # Love Island. This girl is just going down and down into the deep depths of unloyalty," said a third. With another saying, "Clearly she wasn't made in the loyal Navy." The fans' revelation follows Georgia and partner Sam Bird being forced to make a shocking decision. The pair were given an ultimatum: either leave the villa together as a couple, or stay in the show and split up for good. After they agreed to stay within the show but separate, Georgia and Donnie Dyer engaged in a surprising conflict. And in last night's show, Georgia and Sam were seen kissing on the sofa just hours after their decision. These actions have led to people assuming they will be getting kicked off of the show. Fans tweeted, "Can Georgia and Sam get kicked off? Ideally to a separate island to never return." Bye. Another added, Georgia and Sam are kissing, cuddling etc. Isn't that a rule break and they should be chucked off? While other fans commented that if the pair wanted to stay together they could leave the show. But as England football fans try their best to shake off the devastating result of tonight's semi-final after it became clear Croatia were going to face France in the final on Sunday. Many were sharing their eagerness to forget about the evening's events with a dose of the addictive reality competition Love Island in the minutes before. Yet it wasn't long before Scottish presenter Ian decided to bring up the sporting result. Speaking to viewers amid the typical villa drama on the ITV2 show, the narrator suddenly made a potentially ill-timed joke. "Congratulations England, I knew you'd do it," he praised. But then the host started clearing his throat in preparation for a swift change in tone. He said sadly, "Commiserations England. Better luck next time." Clearly enjoying the cheeky joke, the comedian asked, "Editor, can we delete one of those? Otherwise I'm gonna look like an idiot." While it's not clear whether Ian made the reference on purpose, or if he genuinely wanted the editor to amend his comment, viewers were divided. Taking to Twitter, some fans found the moment hilarious. One person shared, "Ian Sterling cracks me up #Love Island." Ian Sterling definitely took advantage of that hour delay for that England laugh out loud #Love Island, another wrote. A third teased, "Ian is so shady #Love Island." While a fourth agreed, Ian Sterling's comment on England losing is sly #Love Island. But some felt the England loss was still too raw as they raged against the personality. "Too soon Ian, too soon. #Love Island," one fan warned. Another slammed, "F*** off Ian Sterling. Scotland can't even get to a World Cup #Love Island." The commentary is just brilliant. Last night's episode of Love Island saw Laura surprised when Idris took her on a date soon after his arrival to the villa. But the date didn't go exactly as planned, as she came away from the meetup shocked over Idris' claims about Jack. While discussing Laura's relationship with Jack, Idris confided in her that he initiated the infamous kiss with Georgia Steele. But Jack has always maintained that he never wanted to kiss Georgia, and it was a complete accident. However, with Idris's information in her mind, Laura enters tonight's episode looking for answers from Jack. When Laura returns to the villa after her date on tonight's episode, she heads straight to Jack and asks to speak to him. As they sit on the swing, Laura tells Jack what occurred on the date. She says, "We spent the whole time talking about you, to be honest. Basically he said to me, 'Do you believe in Jack? Just to let you know from the outside, this whole date thing with Georgia and this kiss, it did happen and it was more a mutual kiss. He knows you've not said that. I just don't want to look like a mug.'" But Jack is furious as he feels that Idris is trying to muscle his way into Laura's good books by smirking his name. Jack replies, "It's so textbook. The facts are, I ended up kissing her on the lips. I have never denied that. But me wanting to kiss her on the lips, it's different." He can say what he wants to say, but inevitably he's just trying to get with you. He's looked at me and you and he's trying to mess it up. Later, Idris speaks to the rest of the boys about the incident, and Kieran Nichols jumps to Jack's defense, saying, Jack was shying away from the kiss. And it doesn't stop there, as Jack goes to confront Idris about being a snake. He says, "With Laura I've been squashing it, trying to progress with it, and then you've come in here and you've started chatting rubbish. You've tried to break up a couple and you've got a game plan." Idris responds, "Who said that?" But Jack is having none of it, and continued, "That's how it comes across. It's not cool." The fourth series of Love Island is airing the same time as the FIFA World Cup 2018. And sadly for this year's contestants, they've not been able to watch any of the games, including tonight's semi-final game, which will see England play Croatia. Former contestant Rosie Williams recently spoke out about the rules within the villa and how contestants are kept from finding anything out about the outside world. Speaking to Metro, she spoke about the World Cup results specifically and said, "The boys, and me as well, we would try and find out the scores, but no one would tell us anything. And we asked if we could possibly watch it, but they said no. In Love Island you are just in the villa with no contact from outside world, so watching football would be some contact." However, with the recent success England has had in their previous matches, could the producers of the ITV reality TV show rethink their decision if they make it to Sunday's final? An ITV spokesperson confirmed the news, telling metro.co.uk, "They haven't watched it, they aren't aware of the results, and there are no current plans for them to see it." Whilst the Islanders are not allowed to know anything about the World Cup, fans could see tonight's episode disrupted by the game yet again. Love Island viewers could see tonight's episode pushed back to a later start time. If tonight's football match goes to extra time and penalties, like it did during last week's England vs Colombia, the schedule could face a major shake-up. Last week, Love Island was pushed back until 10 p.m. to ensure viewers could watch both the football and the reality TV show. Tonight's episode of Love Island is set to air on ITV2 at 9:30 p.m., but if England vs Croatia goes to extra time and penalties, will it be cancelled altogether? Later this evening, the villa is going to be rocked again as another newcomer enters the game show. It was revealed to the public last night Alexandra Kane would be entering the villa, following the appearance of Idris Virgo and Keira Nichols. On entering the show, Alexandra explained she has her sights set on two boys in particular and said, "I'm setting my sights on Josh. He is so my type looks-wise. I feel like Dr. Alex could be a good match for me. I feel like we'd have some really in-depth conversations. I'm knowledgeable. He is knowledgeable. Hopefully I can bring out his personality a bit. I'd like to get to know him." Viewers will see her enjoy two brunch dates, and she will choose Dr. Alex George and Jack Foster. Alongside that, following a conversation with Idris, Alexandra's head is turned and considers him to be a Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer have been fan favorites throughout Love Island so far this year. But although their relationship seems to be flourishing, should they really be with someone else? Likewise, Casimir Crossley and Josh Denzel are enjoying the honeymoon period of their time together, but they may be better suited with other members of the show. A Solar Chinter study has revealed all of the contestants' star signs, and what it reveals may shock fans. And with Love Island imminently coming to an end, could the contestants recouple in the final week of the show? Despite Jack and Donnie continuing to get on famously, Jack is a Taurus, and would be best suited with Laura Anderson, another Taurus. He is also a perfect match for the recently booted out Laura Crane, who could set her eyes on Jack this week. Meanwhile, Donnie has her pick of eligible bachelors throughout the villa. According to the star sign chart, Donnie is best matched with a number of islanders including Wes Nelson and Sam Bird. She is also an excellent match for ex-islander Aya Booker, who could still arrive back on the show. But does this star sign information reveal what will happen to the favorite Love Islanders? Meanwhile, Dr. Alex George finally found love last week when Alexandra Kane arrived on the island. But that could be extremely short-lived, as his star sign spells disaster with his new beau. In fact, he is better suited to Megan Barton Hanson, who is currently with Wes. But could Dr. Alex really bring the end of Megan and Wes's raunchy relationship? It was recently revealed that presenter Caroline Flack doesn't have any set dates or times to arrive at the villa. Speaking to Radio Times, the head of ITV2 Paul Mortimer said, "Caroline will get her passport out and fly out if there's a reason for her to be there." Caroline herself explained, "We have to wait for certain times that I can walk in. It's really late. We have to wait for the public vote, which usually ends and we're an hour later here as well, and by the time we've done the vote, written the script and everything's changed, it's 1 a.m. Love Island contestants Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer made it through the competition relatively untouched. Their popularity means they could storm to triumph tonight, but in this evening's episode, fans will get to see one more cute moment between the pair. Each contestant is asked to write a love declaration to their partner, and after some initial hesitation, it seems everyone managed to write some caring words. But Jack and Donnie find themselves completely overwhelmed by the moment and end up crying through the sweet moment. Donnie goes first, and confesses she didn't expect to find someone like Jack. She gushes, "Jack, when I first entered the villa 8 weeks ago, I never imagined that in a million years I would have met someone as special as you. From our first date together on the beach, to our trip in a hot air balloon, we have already made so many special memories, and I can't wait for even more. I have had the summer of my life in here and I owe so much of that to you, Jack." And almost overcome with emotion, Jack reveals his real thoughts. Choking up, the stationery salesman says, "You are everything that I've ever wanted in a girl. Getting to know you and fall in love with you has been one of the most wonderful things to ever happen in my life. Firstly, you are an absolute sort. You are so caring and selfless, you have such a beautiful smile. When I see you happy, it makes me feel a way that I've never felt about someone before." And the other couples share their love for each other as well, with Megan Barton Hanson and Wes Anderson admitting they are shocked by what they have found in each other. Megan gushes, "Wes, I've never felt this way about someone before. I love waking up to you every single day and I can't help but fall more and more in love with you. You love me for me and that's a really special feeling. The moment you told me you loved me on the terrace was the highlight of my time on Love Island." Wes adds, "It's been amazing to see you grow as a person. I'm so excited to see what our future holds. What I can definitely promise you is that I'm madly in love with you and I'm falling even deeper every day. But who will take the crown? Will Jack?" After tonight's episode of Love Island saw a brutal display of tweet bingo, Jack and Donnie reconvened to collect their thoughts. During the game, The fan-favorite couple were likened to siblings by the public's tweets. Although the pair disagreed with the sentiments, they felt obliged to confirm that they didn't feel that way towards each other. They went on to discuss how many people Jack had slept with after it also came up in the game. Luckily for Jack, however, Donnie claimed she didn't care about the number. She explained that she wanted him to be honest about his past. Donnie later went on to add, "You're going to have to confront my dad about it." Jack smirked and replied, "Yeah, I will when the time comes." If Danny Dyer does arrive in the villa later on in the series, could the pair finally come face to face? If Jack did meet his future father-in-law, they may get on, as Jack confessed his feelings for Donnie earlier on in the show. In an emotional admission, "I've said to people that I love them, but I've never felt like how I feel in myself about you. I love you. I do. I am excited. I feel like I've changed, and I feel like a big part of how I've changed has been meeting you. You've helped me, and I feel like you are what I needed. I'm getting emotional. I feel like you were exactly what I needed to meet at this point in my life." Meanwhile, Idris and Kieran may have hinted they will be returning to the show. In their final interviews before leaving the villa, the pair spoke about returning to the show later. When asked if he would go back, he said, "Yes, I'd want to crack on more." This year's series of Love Island is only 4 weeks away from the final, where one couple will be crowned the winners of the ITV2's reality TV show. And Jack, who has been coupled up with Donnie Dyer since entering the villa back in June, had a secret link with the show before appearing on this year's series. A fan of the show discovered the company Jack works for, DMG Office Supplies, makes the famous Love Island water bottles that viewers can buy from the show's official shop. It comes after the stationery company posted a video on their official Twitter account last week showing a series of personalized bottles on offer. Alongside the clip, they wrote, "All these Love Island bottles are coming home to all of our lovely customers. Head over to our website to see how you can claim your very own bottle." In response to their tweet, one Twitter user wrote, "I've just accidentally discovered that Jack off Love Island works for the company that makes the show's specially designed water bottles, and now my head is blown." However, it has recently been revealed by the company that while they make and supply the water bottles, they were only gifting the water bottles to their customers in support of the show and their employee Jack. Jack's official Twitter account cleared up the confusion and wrote, "Great investigative work, but they are not the official supplier of Love Island bottles, but since the show started they are giving new and existing customers them as a gift." At DMG_office. The Twitter user who originally realized the link responded saying, "I think my tweet last night was a joke, but very happy to be corrected by the nicest guy in the #Love Island Villa #Yanni." Fans have recently seen Jack and Donnie become an official couple, after the former asked the daughter of EastEnders star Danny Dyer to be his girlfriend a couple of weeks ago. Love Island viewers have seen the couple become stronger following Jack's ex, Ellie Jones's arrival just over a week ago. When Casa Amor reopened its doors, the original boys and girls were split. The boys were sent to Casa Amor where 6 single girls, including Ellie, joined them, whilst the girls stayed in the main villa and were joined by the arrival of 6 new boys. Following the increase in contestants in both villas, ITV2 producers organized a double couple dumping, where viewers voted for their least favorite couple and saw Adam Collard, Daryl Sargent, Ellie and Alex Miller sent home. And more recently, fans have seen the tension in the villa rise after Singleton's Georgia Steele and Wes Nelson were sent on 2 dates with people of their choice. Georgia chose Sam Bird and Jack Fowler to take on dates, which resulted in her coupling with Sam and kissing Jack, which left Laura Anderson fuming. Jack discussed his date with Laura last week, revealing Georgia had kissed him. Unhappy with the news, Laura asked Georgia about the kiss, however she insisted it was mutual. Viewers recently saw the friends fall out, with Ellie Brown joining the heated argument, and sticking up for Laura. Last night, it seemed the girls had kissed and made up, however, when they were sent out of the villa for a spa and sangria afternoon, the conversation quickly turned to the kiss and the atmosphere returned to frosty once again. All the male contestants were subject to the trial with the questions written by their partners in Monday's installment of Love Island. Donnie asked Jack if he would be tempted by girls on the outside, and while Jack replied no, the test said he was lying. Subsequently, Donnie wasn't very happy and the pair were seen having a rare falling out on the ITV2 reality show. Today saw Jack's pals Dane Goodson and Casey Batchelor appear on Good Morning Britain to discuss the pair. Former celebrity Big Brother star Casey began, "No woman wants to hear that, do they? That your partner might be tempted. But I think she might have been a little harsh on him. He said he wants to spend the rest of his life with her, have children with her, he loves her." Dane then chimed in, "I think Donnie's just so worried already about what's going to happen if Jack does anything outside. I don't think she should worry about that. She should enjoy it and chill out a bit more." Last night saw Donnie and Jack back to their usual selves as they were seen kissing and making up. Jack told his beau, "The only thing I can say to you is that when we leave, you'll see that you have nothing to worry about. You really have got nothing to worry about. Essentially, I love you, I want to be with you. And I want a family. That's what I want out of us too. And I'm so happy that I found it. So I'd like to just put that to bed." Donnie was later seen in the beach hut, revealing how they had both calmed down. The 21-year-old said, "I felt like we were both calmed down this morning, we slept on it. I think in a relationship, if anything's bothered you, or upset you, say it there and then move forward from it, and then work around it, rather than just attacking each other." Jack and Donnie have been strong favorites to win with bookmakers, but viewers will have to wait and see. Love Island fans have been enjoying the ongoing dramas on the ITV2 reality show. Grace Wardle and Frankie Foster were brutally dropped from the villa after being labeled the least popular on the island. And as 2 left, 2 arrived, as viewers got a tantalizing first look of the new homes. Kieran Nichols and Idris Virgo donned their swimming shorts for a stint on the island of love, and it seems they are looking for a lifelong partner. The pair admitted in their pre-entry interviews how Casimir Crossley is a girl for both of them. When asked who Hyde fancied the look of, Kieran, 26, admitted, "Hopefully I can get on well with one of the girls in there and build a connection with them. I want to spend time with someone who is going to make me want to spend time with them. In the villa, I've got my eye on K's in terms of looks and personality. She has her head screwed on and she knows where she wants to be, and that's a trait I look for. Megan is also pretty hot. Maybe she might meet someone like me who will tame her, the personal trainer admitted. He went on to explain how there was nothing to stop him stepping on each other's toes. Meanwhile, Idris, 25, from Birmingham believes he will be the one to get K's. The boxer explained, "I'm looking for a soulmate, a partner in crime, a long-term partner. I've got my eye on K's, Georgia and Samira. I know some of the girls are coupled up, like K's with Josh, so it would be a challenge with her, but I'll find a way of stealing K's because she is my type. I don't mind stepping on people's toes. But will they manage to split up K's and Josh? Or will another girl catch their eyes?" Frankie also admitted after being dumped from the island how Josh and K's are the most likely to get married, so will this put a spanner in the newcomers' works? Love Island continues tonight on ITV2 and Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer have been firm favorites to win ever since Love Island began. And while it looks as though it's likely for the pair to claim a victory, there may be some big competition. Final day odds have placed Jack and Donnie as the pair most likely to win by bookmakers' Paddy Power. The bookies have the Lovebirds at 1-14 to triumph on the ITV2 reality show. However, Paul Knops and Laura Anderson have seen a huge surge in bets coming in for them as their odds have been slashed from 40-1 right down to 13-2. Could Paul and Laura be on for a last-minute win? A spokesperson for the bookmakers told Express.co.uk, previously, Jack and Donnie would be an unfortunate East London expression, now it's just a very fortunate East London couple. They've been winners of Love Island since the moment they coupled up, and are hugely odds-on to land the £50,000 winner's check. We've been inundated with bets on the pair, and I reckon it's about time Danny Dyer went out and bought a hat and a new poster for Jack's wall. But if Paul and Laura come out on top, it certainly wouldn't be the first time viewers have been surprised by an unexpected success. Back in the first series of the reality contest in 2015, John Clark and Hannah Elizabeth were favorites to win. Like Jack and Donnie, the pair had been coupled up since the first episode. However, they were pipped at the post by Jessica Hayes and Max Morley. Meanwhile, for this year's show, Casimir Crossley and Josh Denzel sit on 14-1. But looking least likely to claim the crown is Wes Nelson and Megan Barton Hanson at 16-1. Whoever the eventual winners are, they can look forward to a hefty sum of money. In previous years, the couple have been presented with a choice regarding the £50,000 jackpot. The duo decide whether they wish to choose love or money. They have the chance to share £50,000, or one of them can steal it for themselves, but all winners thus. After spending their first night together, Laura gushes, "I feel fabulous with Paul in my bed." Paul's very affectionate. That's what you want, you just want someone to want to be all over you. Wanting to know more about his past, Laura asks about his previous jobs. However, she is not prepared for Paul's revelation. "When I was in Louisiana, I think it was one of the first jobs I did out there, they called me up and said, 'Paul, do you fancy doing a music video?' Paul explains. And I was like, 'Oh yeah, cool,' and I said, 'Who's it for?' And they were like, 'We're not supposed to tell you who it's for, You have to go for a casting for it, but it's for Whisper Britney Spears. Paul goes on to reveal that he locked lips with the singer. Was she single? Asks Laura. Paul replies, she was single. Not that that even matters because it was a job. In the video, I got pulled aside by her and then she basically just chose me to be the lead guy. Are you trying to tell me that you snogged Britney Spears? Gasps Laura. Paul explains, yeah. But it's in a video. Meanwhile, Laura's ex Jack Fowler moves on with Laura Crane. The pair head out on a date together and Jack reveals she is the first girl he's felt a real connection with. I'm a little bit nervous, if I'm honest with you, going on this date, he admits. The reason for that is, because it's the first date I've really had with a girl in here that I care about. I've been on 2 previous dates, but this is the date that means the most to me. Laura later reveals, the date was so good. It was just so nice to... Tonight's episode of Love Island will allow viewers to see that Jack and Donnie aren't the only couple picking up the pieces off the back of the lie detector. Megan Barton Hanson will open up to Wes about her feelings of self-doubt after he was revealed to have lied about wanting to introduce Megan to his parents during last night's tense show. Megan's insecurities were clearly at the forefront of her mind after the lie detector. Questioning her own self-worth, Megan will admit her ongoing concern about how WE's single-quote parents will react to her. She confessed, I know deep down if you had a son that was good at everything like you are, and smart and intelligent, would you want them to come back with a girl that's done glamour modeling and stripping? Or would you want them to get with a girl who's smart like a doctor or sensible Sally who works in an office? Do you know what I mean? Megan will later admit she remains self-conscious about her past jobs. The 24-year-old will be heard to say, you know that I'm embarrassed of my past and stuff. I know I'd be the same if I had a kid or if my brother brought a girl back that had done the jobs I'd done. It's not ideal, but that's not all there is to me. I'm a nice person. Wes is quick to offer Megan reassurance after her insecurities deepen. He insists Megan's background will have no sway on his parents' feelings towards her. Wes protests, I've brought someone home that's not in the stereotypical, idyllic role. Would my dad care about that? No. He's going to judge you on your personality. He's going to judge you on how happy I am, and how happy we make each other. Determined to shake off her latest bout of insecurity, Megan tells the beach hut the truth hurt. She explains, it's not WE's single-quote fault. It's always been a massive insecurity of mine. I feel like if there was one question I really wanted him to be telling the truth on and it come back positive, it would have been the introduce me to your parents. Are you embarrassed or not? And yeah, it did hurt. Love Island gets more dramatic by the week, and now it seems the ITV2 show could see its biggest moment yet. A brand new beauty is about to rock up to the Spanish villa in just a couple of hours, according to reports. The brunette in question is believed to be Stephanie Lamb, and The Sun has suggested she has been hiding in Mallorca ready to enter the show. What's more, the newspaper reports how she has a big connection to Love Island, having been the secret girlfriend of last year's runner-up, Chris Hughes. Her arrival on the show has not yet been confirmed and ITV declined to comment when approached by express.co.uk. However, should she enter Love Island, It seems she would certainly stir things up. A source revealed, Chris and Stephanie have been dating on and off for 6 months. But this was an opportunity too good for her to miss out on, so she's gone for it. They added, Stephanie is geared up to cause some chaos in the villa. It's going to be hard for Stephanie, because everyone seems in settled relationships, but that's sure to change when she walks in. She knows Charlie Brake and Ellie Brown are having a tough time, and Georgia Steele and Sam Bird seem on the edge, so there's 2 heads that could be turned. Stephanie is a stunning girl, and wherever she goes, drama is going to follow her. It is thought Stephanie has been dating Chris on and off since January after he split with fellow Love Island contestant, Olivia Atwood. However, they have rarely been spotted together, and reports have come from mere speculation. Express.co.uk has contacted a representative of Chris Hughes for comment. Nevertheless, stunning Stephanie would be sure to fit in on Love Island, and is no stranger to posing up a storm in a bikini. Earlier this month, the beauty let her body do the talking as she squeezed her ample assets into a corset-fronted bralette. She kept her hands on her hips as she gave fans a glimpse of her enviable curves in barely their bottoms. And previous to that, Stephanie shared an all-bronze look as she teased her cleavage in a nude-colored bikini. Love Island viewers were left stunned last night as Samira walked out of the villa. It came after days of missing her partner Frankie Foster, and being left single following his dumping last week. In her exit interview, Samira spoke about her time on the reality TV show, describing it as a roller coaster which was at times very intense. She said, "It was absolutely amazing. I walked around pinching myself that I was there. But I feel like it was the right time for me to leave. I'm obviously devastated to be leaving my best friends, but this is the perfect time." Samira also discussed the people she formed a close bond with during her time in the villa, and in particularly revealed what she really thought about Georgia Steele. She commented, "I clicked with everyone. Everyone was my best friend. But I'd say Donnie Dyer, she is the best, most amazing girl. She always kept me positive. Georgia is super confident and bubbly, and that's exactly what she's always like. I love her. We got really close and I did feel for her with everything she went through with Josh Denzel, but she is happy with Sam Bird now. I love that girl." It came after an unknown source told Mirror Online Samira had left because she had enough of Georgia. ITV hit back at the claims, and a spokesperson told Express.co.uk, "There is no truth to that story." Samira also spoke about her relationship with Frankie, noting he was the reason she left the show. "I've found what I wanted to find, and it was Frankie, so I'm going to go and get him," she said. "I am really excited and also really nervous about seeing Frankie. All we know is our villa relationship, so I'm really excited to see how it'll work on the outside world and if we are compatible and do like each other as much as we said." Following Samira's exit, the remaining contestants were told a recoupling would take place, which would see the girls choosing which boy they would like to partner up with. Samira hinted Dr. Alex George could be saved from being dumped by new girl Alexandra Kane. She explained, "I really like Alexandra, she does seem really nice. And she was genuine about her feelings for Alex when she came in. Could this mean Idris Virgo and Kieran Nichols will be dumped?" Tonight viewers will see the result of who Alexandra chooses and who will leave. Love Island return. The Love Island finale will take place on Monday, July 30th. There are only 6 couples left and only one couple can win the £50,000 cash prize. One couple is expected to be dumped from the villa tonight or tomorrow. The teaser for tonight's episode revealed that the couples will become parents to lifelike baby dolls, which was a fan favorite last year. But fans are really wondering when the parents of the couples are going to enter the villa. Especially Donnie's dad, EastEnders actor Danny Dyer. Is the lie detector test accurate? For the past 3 seasons of the show, the last week has been the most intense and the most entertaining for viewers. The last week of the show sees the contestants undertake a lie detector test, become parents to fake dolls, and participate in challenges that have reduced some of the islanders to tears. The part the contestants will be dreading the most is the arrival of their parents, who are expected to enter the villa this week. ITV has yet to confirm the exact date of when the parents will enter the villa and if they will, but it is expected to be any time now. Last year, the parents entered the villa during episode 42, the episode after Islanders look after their baby dolls. So going by episode content, the parents could arrive as early as Friday's episode. However, the past 2 years saw parents enter on episode 42, which has already been broadcast this season. Doubts have also been cast by fans if the parents will actually enter the villa this year, as family members have not yet flown to Mallorca and Danny Dyer was spotted in Disneyland, America. Nevertheless, there is still hope that the parents will enter, as this series is longer than previous ones. Express.co.uk has approached ITV2 for comment. Where is Love Island filmed? The parent everybody is talking about is the arrival of Donnie's dad, Danny, who has been watching the show and teased a few weeks ago joke that was going to the villa on his Twitter. He wrote, "I've only gone and made the shortlist for the TV Choice Awards. If you fancy it, whack a vote my way. Right. I'm off to the villa to sign my future son-in-law's canvas." Lovely. The tweet was made after it was revealed by Jack's ex-girlfriend on the show that he has a poster of the actor on his wall, something he denies. Donnie also asked Jack in the lie detector test if he got on with Donnie because of her dad's fame, to which he replied no. However, the lie detector revealed he was lying. So it will definitely be an awkward encounter for Jack. Megan will also be shocked to meet WE's single quote parents, who she is already nervous about meeting due to her insecurities over her past career as a glamour model. When is the Love Island final? Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer are still the favorite couple to win the series this year, according to bookmakers across the board. They were the first couple to become boyfriend and girlfriend, and they have even said they love each other. They've been given odds of 1/7 from a number of bookies, including Coral. However, they face competition from new couple Josh Denzel and Casimir Crossley, currently at 5/1 on Ladbrokes. Third favorites are new on and off couple Alex George and Alexandra Crane, who Ladbrokes have put 14/1 on to win. With the dumping taking place on tonight's episode, Love Island 2018 ended on an unexpected note last night, as Grace and Frankie were booted out of the villa after receiving the fewest votes from the public. 2 new boys, Kieran and Idris, joined the Islanders and got to work on trying to couple up with the girls. Kieran laid it on thick with Georgia, and Kay's and Idris had a flirt with Laura. The two had to pick two girls to bring on dates, with Idris choosing Laura and Kieran choosing Georgia. However, another unexpected constant was introduced tonight, with a new girl added to the mix. So who is new bombshell Alexandra? WHO are new contestants Idris and Kieran? Alexandra Kane is a makeup artist from Hertfordshire. The 27-year-old brunette is the latest girl to join the Islanders and was an unexpected addition to the villa this week. The self-described Joker already has her eye on Josh, which could spell some awkward times between her and Kays. "I'd love to meet someone. I'm setting my sights on Josh. He is so my type, looks wise," she said. How to watch Love Island 2018 online. She may end up hitting it off with Dr. Alex, who she feels might be a good match due to them both being knowledgeable. "I feel like we'd have some really in-depth conversations. I'm knowledgeable, he is knowledgeable. Hopefully I can bring out his personality a bit. I'd like to get to know him." Alexandra says she's friends with all her exes, but is in two minds about monogamy. She said, "I read a lot about love, books from anthropologists and speakers, so my mind is frazzled with my thoughts on monogamy. I don't really know as humans if we are meant to be monogamous. Where is the Love Island villa? The way to her heart is by being a gentleman, and her biggest turnoff is someone acting too over the top. I love somebody with a personality, otherwise I feel like I'm carrying the relationship. I like someone who is just calm and natural," she explained. As for making friends, Alexandra says she hopes to be able to create some friendships in the villa. Burrs says there's no avowing stepping on someone's toe this late in the series. "Why did Niall leave Love Island? I've got a lot of good, close relationships with girls outside of the villa. With girls, I am protective. I do like to give advice. I'm going to have to tread on somebody's toes at this stage." She added, "I want to be as respectful as I can. I know I won't always please everybody, but I hope I create some good friends." Last night's episode of Love Island saw 22-year-old Samira leave the villa after days of feeling unhappy, deciding it was the right thing to do. Samira had coupled up with Frankie Foster, who was voted out last week, with 2.5 weeks left to go until the series finishes. Samira, who is a dancer performing in London's West End, was one of the original contestants on the show and was one of the 6 left. She at first coupled up with Dr. Alex, but she felt they were better off as friends. The show, which has been running for 5 weeks so far, sees singletons enter a Mallorca villa for 8 weeks to find love. For weeks Samira was unlucky in love, but met Constance Frankie Foster after he entered as one of the 12 new cast members. He was eliminated on Monday, July 9 alongside Grace Wardle, and Samira was left distraught. Love Island 2018, WHO's new girl Alexandra. She decided to follow her heart and quit the show to be with Frankie. She told close friends on the show, Ellie, Donnie and Megan, "I've not had any connection in here with anyone, and I had little taste of that with Frankie, and it's gone abruptly, and I think I'd always be thinking what if. I woke up this morning and I thought, it's my time to go. I have to do this for me. I've never felt so strong." Meanwhile, Frankie has been responding to fans on his Instagram saying he couldn't wait to see her and posted a picture of her with a love heart emoji. Frankie also revealed to the Metro that Samara and he spent a night in the hideaway. Unfortunately, the scene never made the final cut. He said, "It's weird for me because obviously, it's a big thing for everyone in the villa. Everyone was cheering us into the hideaway, everyone was happy for us. It was a big thing for me and Samara. But yeah, it didn't get shown for one reason or another. But yeah, we did spend the night together." Love Island 2018, WHOR. The new boys and girls entering Casa Amor? Fans were left upset that the scenes were not shown between Samara and Frankie, accusing the producers of favoring drama over romance. Viewers have also taken to Twitter saying airing the scenes would have potentially have made Samara and Frankie one of the favorite couples, and they would still be in the villa. Express.co.uk has approached ITV for comment on this story. Love Island 2018, where is Love Island filmed? Where is the villa? Jack Fincham and Donnie Dyer are still the favorite couple to win the series this year, according to bookmakers across the board. They were the first couple to become boyfriend and girlfriend, and they have even said they love each other. They've been given odds of 1/7 from a number of bookies including Coral. However, they face competition from new couple Josh Denzel and Casimir Crossley, currently at 12/1 on Skybet. Third favorites are on and off couple Jack Fowler and Laura Anderson. There has been a lot of support for Donnie Dyer and Jack Fincham, who have been firm favorites throughout Love Island. However, it looks as though they could be pipped at the post of the ITV2 reality contest. Looking back at past contestants, all signs point to none other than Megan Barton Hanson and Wes Nelson scooping the prize. The first installment of the program was won by Jessica Hayes and Max Morley, the second by Cara De La Hoyt and Nathan Massey, while last year saw Amber Davies and Kempston A claim a victory. Looking back at past years, 22.6 years old is the average age of a winning couple. Megan is 24 while Wes is 20 years old, bringing their average age to 22, meaning they're almost the perfect candidates to take the £50,000 prize money. But that's not the only sign, as the hometowns of the victorious couples also point to Megan and Wes for a triumph. Nathan hails from Essex, as does Kem, making it the place that has spawned the most Love Island winners. So, Southend-on-Sea resident Megan could make it a hat trick for the county. On top of that, former winners include models Jessica and Cara. As the most popular occupation for a winner of the contest, could model Megan also be set for a win? Viewers will have to wait until tomorrow's final to find out. Meanwhile, tonight we'll see the contestants take part in the long-awaited Meet the Parents episode. Donnie's famous dad Danny Dyer will appear via video to have a chat with his daughter and Jack. And it's clear he's bursting with pride for his eldest offspring. "Oh my God, I miss you," Donnie exclaims when she sees her dad and her mum Jo. Danny then admits, "No, listen, I will say, I got it wrong, baby. I told you not to do it. We're so proud of you, you are incredible. You're an absolute hero, babe." Donnie then asks Danny what he thinks of her boyfriend. He replies, "Babe, he's lovely. He's a prop." Back in May we thought we'd reached peak Meghan as the Duchess of Sussex glided down the aisle at St. George's in her custom Givenchy gown. But it turns out Meghan mania is building this summer, with Love Island's muggy Megan Barton Hanson causing quite the stir with her wild antics. But is Muggy Meg about to steal Meghan Markle's crown? Here, we compare Love Island's leading lady with Prince Harry's wife, who have a lot more in common than just their names. When it comes down to measurements, the Meghans are in similar shape. At 5'7", Meghan is an inch taller than Meghan, who is 5'6". Both women wear a size 8 dress, but Meghan's boob job has left her with a 32DD bra size, while Meghan Markle takes a 34C. Where Meghan has dark brown eyes and opts for chocolate brown eyeshadow and black eyeliner, Meghan has blue eyes, and mostly accentuates her features with nude tones. Both women dress for their figures, with Meghan opting for couture, Carolina Herrera, Dior and Givenchy. Her style is sophisticated and elegant, with high necklines and delicate court shoes. Meghan loves anything that shows off her flawless figure, and is never afraid to break the cleavage or legs rule, frequently opting for outfits that show off all her assets. Muggy Meg. Love Island's Meghan didn't get her muggy title for no reason. After entering the villa and leading Alex on, she quickly shacked up with Al, then broke up Laura and Wes, had a fling with new Alex, and now she's back with Wes. The girl works fast. While the antics in the house have raised a fair few eyebrows, Meghan's been in the headlines for a lot more than doing bits on camera with Al, Alex and Wes. Over the last few weeks, pictures of the star posing topless and stripping have littered the web, with snaps of her stripping days even surfacing online. The Love Island temptress spent £40,000 on surgery, including a boob job, chin reshaping and dental veneers, and she's dated 2 Premier League footballers. It has also been revealed she has had several sugar daddies and was once seen sniffing a suspicious white powder. Meghan Markle. While Meghan Markle's past isn't quite so saucy, Prince Harry broke royal protocol by marrying the American divorcee. The former Suits actress, who has filmed scenes in her undies in the past, was previously married to producer Trevor Engelson for 2 years, separating in 2013. While she's now bagged the most eligible bachelor in Britain, Meghan was previously pursued by Cheryl's ex-hubby, Ashley Cole, but was warned by a journalist pal to steer well clear. And since becoming Mrs. Windsor, Meg has continued to break the rules in her own way, wearing sleeveless dresses and crossbody bags, walking herself up the aisle, making political statements, and even giving her own wedding speech. Meghan Markle. Both Meghan and Meghan have both had problems with their fathers recently. In the run-up to the royal wedding, Meghan Markle's father Thomas got caught up in a scandal when he was caught staging photos of him working out and getting fitted for a suit ahead of the big day. The images caused huge embarrassment to the royal family, and Mr. Markle ended up missing the wedding. The pair haven't seen each other since. Muggy Meg and Muggy Meghan's antics in the villa have reportedly been enough for her father Kevin to take leave from his job for a few weeks to escape unwanted attention. High-flying City of London insurance broker Kevin Barton Hanson, 52, is said to have struggled with watching his daughter bed-hopping. While it took her a while, Muggy Meg has finally settled down with Wes, and he's officially her boyfriend. Like Prince Harry, WE's single quote last relationship was 2 years long, and they both love skiing. As for the Meghans, They've both had their own fair share of ex-partners. Muggy Meg. While we know Megan has dated 2 footballers, during the Love Island villa she's had 3 notable relationships. Al, who she decided early on wasn't right, Alex, who was the one that got away, and Wes, the potential love of her life. Meghan Markle. And Meghan Markle has a similar history with 3 men she's dated. Ex-husband Trevor Engelson was her Al, the one she decided wasn't right early on. Corey was her Alex, the one that got away, and one she almost married. And Prince Harry is her Wes, the love of her life. Muggy Meg. Despite saying she had no female friends when she entered the villa, Meghan has a great girl gang behind her, with BFFs Donnie, Ellie and Samara fighting her corner. Meghan Markle. Meghan is also dependent on her girl pals for advice and fun, citing Serena Williams, Skins actress Sarah Rafferty and Priyanka Chopra amongst her best friends. Meghan Markle, as well as her starring role in U.S. legal drama Suits, Meghan Markle appeared in several other movies, including a cameo in Horrible Bosses. Muggy Meg. And Muggy Meghan's career path has some similarities with Meghan's. According to her website, she's available to work as an actress. We've not seen any of her work yet, but maybe she'll get her big acting break when she leaves the Love Island villa. Meghan Markle. Meghan and Prince Harry's official London residence is Nottingham Cottage, situated in Kensington Palace grounds, but they are rumored to soon to be upgrading to the far more grand 21-bedroom apartment one, where they will be named. A Levezic man who launched a desperate search for a Vicky Pattinson look-alike he met for 10 minutes on holiday is married. Smitten Gary Guest, 42, was put in touch with Marie after his plea was heard, but their budding romance was shot down when she got a message from his other half saying Romeo has got a wife. The pair met 2 weeks ago in Albufeira, Portugal, while Gary, from Nottingham, was on a lad's holiday, and although they only spoke for 10 minutes he was Levezic. Gary was so taken with Marie on holiday that he launched an appeal to find her, which resulted in Marie Donnelly, from Newcastle, being identified as his holiday crush, and the pair were put in touch. The 29-year-old said she was very flattered by Gary's search for her but was shocked to receive the message from his wife Heather. She told Chronicle Live, "I couldn't believe it. After what Gary did, what he did to find me, I was very flattered. He kept messaging me and asked if he could come up to Newcastle to see me. I didn't want to meet up with him straight away as I didn't know much about him, but then after our story appeared in the media I got a message from his wife saying, 'Do you know Romeo has got a wife?' I then massaged Gary and said we better leave it at that." Marie said that Gary claims he wanted to meet up so he could tell her in person that he was separated, but social media had beaten him to it. She added, "All my friends thought it was funny, and I suppose it is one of those stories I will be telling for years to come." When asked about his wife, Gary said they have been living separate lives for the last 2 years and that they don't sleep together or in the same bed. The HS2 Rail-Link section foreman also said he and his wife only live together because he is the main bill payer in the house. He added, "The last time I texted Marie I said, 'Can I see you?' but she said, 'I know you're married.' I wanted to tell her face to face, but social media beat me to it. We've not spoken since then." I don't want to push something if it's not going to go anywhere. This is a touching moment. A disabled man in a wheelchair was pushed along by his dog in the Philippines. Footage shows Danilo Alarcon, 46, making his way down a street in the city of Davao with the help of his loyal pet, Digong. The 7-month-old dog, named after Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte, can be seen following its master and nudging his wheelchair along with its nose. Alarcon has been unable to walk since he suffered a spinal injury in a motorcycle accident some years ago. Onlooker Faith Revilla said her and her husband, Danjo, were driving home when they saw the heartwarming scene. She said, "We felt blessed to have witnessed this extraordinary sight of an amazing creature helping its master maneuver his wheelchair along Seminary Drive. I mean, I thought it only happens in TV shows, but this was a very real scene. I have no words to describe my emotions right now. May the good Lord bless them both." Faith said she pulled over to talk to Alarcon and they later took him for lunch at an all. Her friends were glamorous and often outrageous troubled titans of the fashion set such as Isabella Blow and Alexander McQueen, aristocrats including Lady Amanda Harlick and, of course, musicians like her first husband, the pop star Brian Ferry. But model Lucy Helmore, who has died aged 58, was never noted for drawing attention to herself. A quiet woman, whose friends remember her as serene and elegant, she married Brian Ferry and then nightclub boss Robin Burleigh, but said she was happiest alone with her dogs. She told an interviewer, "I'm definitely somebody who needs a lot of time to reflect and digest life." For the past 4 years she had been living quietly in a large farmhouse in Shropshire, hunting most weekends, and raising rare breed pigs while her second husband Burleigh remained in London running the exclusive 5 Hertford Street Club. She is survived by her 4 sons by Brian Ferry, Otis, Isaac, Tara and Merlin. In a statement, her family said that she had died while on holiday in Ireland surrounded by her beloved dogs, Daisy, Peg and Daphne. The cause of her death remains unclear, but former husband Brian Ferry declared himself shocked and saddened by the tragic news. One friend, who saw her a fortnight ago, noted that she had looked very unwell, but was surprised she had gone to Ireland. Her late father, a Lloyd's underwriter and an alcoholic, had connections to the Galway area. Lucy had emerged from her marriage to Ferry having needed treatment for drug and alcohol dependency, and never drank again. She was, though, an enthusiastic smoker and was said to puff up to 60 Marlboro Lights a day. Raised in a Kensington townhouse, courtesy of the millions her father made in the city, and educated at convent school, she had a successful modeling career, posing for renowned photographers such as Robert Mapplethorpe and Stephen Meisel. They captured her sometimes sardonic gaze, and the unsettling perfection of her bone china face. She said, "The thing I remember about Robert Mapplethorpe is that he was incredibly quick and he knew exactly what he was trying to get. When he felt he got the photograph, we just lounged around in his loft and smoked a lot of joints." Through the fashion world she met Roxy Music singer Brian Ferry. He was trying to get over being dumped by Texan supermodel Jerry Hall, to whom he'd been engaged, but who left him for Rolling Stones Lothario Mick Jagger. Lucy, who when they met was 18 to Ferry's 32, said, "I was very surprised when I met Brian that he was interested in going out with me. It seemed slightly surreal, I suppose. She posed as the cover model for the Roxy Music album Avalon, but with her back to the camera, a pose which Ferry felt was typical of her intriguing reserve. He once told an interviewer that she had a touch of Greta Garbo and was a Virgo. Not easy. And that was when they were still married. They were wed a month after the album was released in 1982, and set themselves up in a landed gentry lifestyle in West Sussex. Ferry, whose father looked after pit ponies in Durham, was enchanted by his effortlessly upper-class bride, whose family was linked to two baronetcies, and who favored sofas covered in dog hair and mismatched cushions, and avenues of bleached limes. Lucy said of marriage to a celebrity, "I didn't want to be put in the spotlight. My family's attitude to the press and publicity was very much that it was frowned upon. You only appeared in papers if you were born, married or had died. That affected me when I got married to Brian. But if theirs appeared to be an idyllic lifestyle, it was not long before fissures began to appear." A friend of the pair said this week, "Boredom set in pretty early on in the marriage. Roxy Music were touring, which did not help. I saw them together in 1983 and they were an amazingly glamorous couple. And then by 1985 it was obvious that there were some drink-related problems on her side. Brian was so self-absorbed, and I think that was a problem. He spent all his energies trying to project the image of a perfect English gentleman." In an interview, she was rather kinder about the way things had panned out for them. She said, "I learned a lot from Brian and met a lot of other artists I probably never would have met otherwise. I hope when I was married to Brian I was helpful creatively to him, but it's very consuming being with an artist, because the whole focus is their creativity. There isn't a lot of space to develop your own." She also raised their 4 boys, whom she described as extremely energetic, and needing to be engaged in physical tasks at all times. The domestic whirl seems to have overcome her. In 1993, she spent 9 weeks detoxing at Farm Place Clinic, near Ilkley in Surrey, and was teetotal afterwards. She regularly attended Alcoholics Anonymous meetings after that. She said, "I know I have an addictive personality. I grew up with alcoholism. My father was an alcoholic. It's genetic, partly. When it came, as perhaps it inevitably did, the end of their marriage was painful." Lucy herself once said simply that we drifted apart. But she also acknowledged that the whole feeling of failure around being divorced was something I felt very strongly. Ferry was notably generous in their 2003 divorce, paying her a reported £10 million. Friends say he also bought her the house in Kensington where she had grown up, and report that she sold it again fairly recently in order to provide each of their boys with a handsome nest egg. As the boys grew up, she revived an interest in photography and her works were exhibited. They included pictures of friends including the artist Damien Hirst and the late aristocratic magazine editor Isabella Blow, probably her closest friend, who killed herself in 2007. Another member of their London set, which included Kate Moss, was the outer designer Alexander McQueen, who took his own life in 2010. Lucy's death in Ireland has come less than 2 weeks after her friend Annabel Neilson, former wife of financier Nat Rothschild, collapsed and died aged 49 in Chelsea. It is an elevated social circle which has now lost 4 members in a decade. Although Lucy's greatest interests were country pursuits, she was never out of Tatler magazine, and was often spotted going to art exhibitions and first nights, and parties with friends such as Bunter Wooster, the 12th Duke of Beaufort. And there were always her boys to look out for. In 2004, her eldest son Otis stormed the chamber of the House of Commons at the age of 22 to protest against the fox hunting ban. 4 years later, he was briefly jailed after assaulting a hunt protester. She said at the time, "I am worried sick about him being in prison without any clean shirts or socks." For someone who loves the outdoors so much, it's very difficult to be in a cell without any windows or fresh air. Although as the years passed, she grew to like early nights and would retire with a pot of tea before 10 p.m., she remained sociable. A chum said, she was not gossipy or opinionated. She was a very loyal friend. 12 years ago Lucy married again, to Robin Burley, son of Annabelle's nightclub owner Mark Burley. Befitting the place of the Burley dynasty at the heart of London society, their wedding was attended by stars such as actor Hugh Grant, who was then dating Robin Burley's half-sister Jemima Goldsmith. Their mother is Annabelle Goldsmith, plus musician Jules Holland and the Marquess of Londonderry. Robin, who was famously cut out of his father's will following a bitter family feud, had been left permanently disfigured after being mauled by a tigress as a boy when he was on a private visit to the zoo of John Aspinall, owner of the Claremont Club, the casino above the old Annabelle's. Today, Robin runs a private club, 5 Hertford Street, and lives above it. But Lucy apparently disliked his late-night lifestyle, and instead more or less lived in the kitchen of her Shropshire farmhouse with her dogs. Her great hobby was riding and fox hunting. She had been doing both since 12. She was a very, very talented rider, said a friend. She retained the elegance she had as a human on the horse, almost an Edwardian elegance. She liked to look chic in the field, too, with riding boots by Maxwell's of Jermyn Street. Lucy herself once said, "I suppose I do spend as much time as I can with horses and dogs. I can't understand people who don't like to be alone." Now, the solitary life she loved has been cut. Everything she touches turns to gold. So it's no surprise when Meghan Markle wears High Street, it sells like hotcakes. When the 36-year-old visited a youth radio station in Brixton back in January with Prince Harry, she was wearing mostly designer, including wide-leg trousers by Burberry with a Smythe coat. But the former Suits actress did add a touch of high street to her look. Her balloon sleeve jumper underneath was from the autograph collection at M&S. Meghan proved you really can't go wrong with the trusty label. It sold out within hours of her rocking it, which meant most of us couldn't steal the balloon sleeve style. But M&S has come to the rescue, ready for your late summer/early autumn wardrobes. While this jumper is no longer available in the original black, you can now snap it up in yellow, which will brighten up any ensemble. The autograph piece still boasts the exact playful balloon sleeves, /neck and simple but stylish design. We'll be pairing ours with a white mini and sandals on a summery but not boiling hot day. But come autumn, we'll be slinging this on with jeans and heeled boots for a great transitional look between seasons. However you're hoping to style yours, be quick to snap this jumper up before you miss it the second time around too. Want more Meghan info? We've got all the goss. Everything Meghan Markle wore to Wimbledon has sold out already. Here's how you can copy her entire outfit. With prices starting at £6, Meghan Markle has splashed £160,000. Earlier this year, Claire Verrill confessed she was too embarrassed to leave her house after tipping the scales at 114 kilograms. But on Thursday night, the former Married at First Sight star made a triumphant return to the public eye, flaunting her newly slimmed-down frame. The 34-year-old looked simply sensational as she arrived at a Make-A-Wish fundraiser in Melbourne, turning heads in a plunging top and tight leather skirt. Unable to keep the smile off her face, a jubilant Claire looked to have lost all of the 44 kgs she had gained over the course of 2017. The busty blonde flashed her racy cutout lingerie in a low-cut top which was tucked into a figure-hugging skirt. She teamed the outfit with a pair of black thigh-high boots, and her hair and makeup was styled perfectly for the occasion. Posing against the media wall, Claire was back to her best, looking like the days she first catapulted into the spotlight after her 2015 appearance on Married at First Sight. The dog rescue advocate clowned around for the cameras, cuddling up with fellow MAFS stars Nick Furphy and Carly Boyer. In January of this year, Claire was spotted sporting a fuller figure as she walked her dog in her hometown of Melbourne. At the time, Claire exclusively told Daily Mail Australia that her weight gain had left her housebound. "I went from 70 kilograms to 114 kilograms. I'd have been avoiding going out or attending any events for the past year as I am very embarrassed by how out of control my weight has become," she said. "I have turned down events, would hide behind my friends in any photos, and avoided posting photos of myself on Instagram unless they were throwback photos." But Claire clarified there were several reasons behind her weight gain, including her ongoing struggle with PTSD, which she has spoken about in the past. "My body went into fight or flight mode," Claire spilled. "Your brain tells your body to store every ounce of fat as it thinks you are on Survivor, when in reality I was in bed eating poorly." She added, "It was also due to my back injury, stress, inability to exercise and poor food choices." Claire also confessed that while she had additional reasons for packing on the kilos, her self-described extreme weight gain came down to her lack of exercise and poor diet. However, even in January, Claire had already kick-started her weight loss journey and was shedding the kilos. She told Daily Mail Australia, "I have been doing a low-calorie diet, 500 calories a day, plus walking after a second back surgery last year," she said, explaining she is aiming to get back to her original size. And, judging by her sensational appearance at the Make-A-Wish Foundation on Thursday night, it appears still waiting to jet off on your big summer holiday? Make sure all eyes are on you with the swimwear that's strictly for posing. Stars like Lauren Gouger certainly have a lot to answer for, because this summer's biggest trend is swimwear that's definitely not practical for its actual intention: swimming. From tassels to sequins to laced front bikinis, we've rounded up the best swimwear that's purely for posing potential. Not that we're complaining. While attempting a front crawl or breaststroke in these garments might be an absolute nightmare, we bag the lot for our next pool party. Plus, they're still splash-friendly, unlike the Azo swimsuit that advised wearers not to put it in contact with water. so you can still get involved. Ibiza, anyone? Want to know how you should be posing? The straddle is the new Instagram pose that celebrities are loving, and it's super flattering. This look-alike swimsuit is 132 pounds less than its designer version. A Malaysian man who took an 11-year-old Thai girl as his third wife has denied doing it out of lust, because he says he's wanted to wed her since she was 7. Rubber scrap dealer Che Abdul Karim Che Abdul Hamid, 41, secretly married the girl in Thailand, but he says she will remain with her parents until she turns 16. The union became public after one of his wives lodged a complaint with police, sparking public outrage and calls for child brides to be banned. Muslim girls under the minimum legal marriage age of 16 can wed with the consent of the Sharia court and their parents. Muslim men in Malaysia can marry 4 wives. Hamid hit back against the backlash, insisting that he had only married the girl out of lust. He would have moved in with her already. I have known her since she was small because we were neighbors. And I also taught her Al-Quran lessons, he told Poundline. It was then that I told myself one day, I will take this girl as my wife, and I did so 4 years later. He claims his friends and people in his village of Kelantan in the northeast of peninsular Malaysia approve of the marriage, because the girl comes from a poor family and he will provide for her. He says he hopes he and his 3 wives can live together in harmony. I realize many are scolding and criticizing me, but they are outsiders who don't know me or her family. The man also hoped that all 3 of his wives would live together in love and harmony, but claims he didn't introduce them to each other to protect his first and second wives' feelings. However, all 3 have not met as he wanted to protect his first and second wives' emotions. I promise to steer our household well. Stop insulting us, but instead pray for our happiness together, he said. Photos on social media showed the groom holding the girl's hand after the marriage ceremony. Local media said Che Abdul Karim, who was also an imam in a rural village in northeast Kelantan state, already has 2 wives and 6 children aged between 5 and 18. He told Bernama news agency that his marriage was lawful and approved by the girl's parents, who are poor rubber tappers in Malaysia. He has said he will only formalize the marriage in Malaysia when the girl turns 16, and that she will stay with her parents until then. The girl was also quoted as saying by local media that she doesn't understand the fuss over her marriage as she is in love with Che Abdul Karim. But Deputy Prime Minister Wan Azizah Wan Ismail has said the marriage was illegal as it had not been approved by the Sharia court. She is meeting officials Monday to discuss the issue, her aide said. Wan Azizah has told local media that officials are investigating if the parents approved the marriage due to poverty. She said an initial investigation showed the girl, who doesn't attend school, was wooed twice and that her mother had told the man the girl was too young and asked for the marriage to be consummated only when she turned 16. She also said the girl's elder brother was grappling with juvenile problems, adding to the complexity of the issue. Pedophilia, child exploitation, child pornography. We must be firm on this as children are our responsibility, she was quoted as saying. Activists have urged the government to raise the minimum age for marriage to 18. The UN Children Agency called the latest child marriage shocking and unacceptable. The Human Rights Commission of Malaysia expressed concern that allowing child marriage in the name of religion might provide cover for pedophiles and child sexual predators. The National Human Rights Society said government data showed there were as many as 15,000 Malaysian child brides. We were super excited about Mamma Mia 2 – Here We Go Again, but we're equally thrilled about the stellar fashion. The film carries the top 5 trends we'll be wearing this summer. Here's everything we know. Okay, young Donna was strutting around in denim high-rise bell-bottoms and matching jacket. She had to, it was the 70s after all. This summer wear them as separates with a plain white tee and summer sandals. When we think of Donna we think of overalls. And there's something about wearing them while on a summer hole. Pair them with a straw hat and flat mules for comfy strolls around the island. Donna and the gang opted for a range of patterns in Mamma Mia since they're the ultimate way to channel carefree summer feels. Try a meaty printed skirt with a matching silk scarf for those chilly island nights. There's something about the allure of a summer dress with Grecian-inspired detailing. Pair it with ancient Greek sandals and a wicker bag for an all-purpose vacation outfit. Choose a light fabric in an earthy tone and sport a feminine suit from day to night. A man whose ex-girlfriend disappeared 25 years ago has been accused of strangling his estranged wife and injecting her with heroin and fentanyl. Police arrested Gregory Agnew, 50, on Friday after a medical examiner's report revealed how his wife Martha had been killed earlier this year. Martha's daughter had found her mother dead in her home in Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, on February 17. Investigators determined that someone else had injected the 49-year-old with the drug cocktail, but no cause was listed on her death certificate until last week. 4 months after the suspicious death, police have charged Gregory with open murder and have also reopened their investigation into the 1993 disappearance of his ex-girlfriend Tammy Niver, 24. Niver went missing on August 7, 1993. Just days after breaking up with Gregory and moving out of the apartment they shared. At the time of her disappearance, Gregory had told police she left his apartment at about 2:25 am. Her car was found abandoned with the keys still in the ignition nearby hours later. An investigation by MALIVE this year revealed that Martha had taken in Niver's 2 children after the mom's disappearance. The same investigation found that police had tried to arrest Gregory for Niver's murder in 2014, concurrently serving Martha with a subpoena. That case was thrown out after it was revealed that police didn't have a warrant, and the county ended up settling in a federal lawsuit for $45,000. At the time of Martha's death this February, she and Gregory were in the midst of divorce, an eerily similar circumstance to that of Niver's disappearance. Police have yet to take Gregory's statement, but he is being held on $500,000 bond in his wife's death. His attorney Ronald R. Gold has repeatedly expressed confidence in his client's innocence and says he is interested in seeing the evidence against Gregory. "I'm a little surprised they are charging him. They're not going to be able to prove his case," Gold told Live. A judge sentenced a 20-year-old man to 3 life terms for torturing, starving and killing 2 children whose bodies were found in a California storage unit. While sentencing defendant Gonzalo Curiel, Judge Pamela Butler said he never deserves to walk free again, the Salinas, California reported. The cruelty exhibited, The intentional torture, the beatings, starvings, the efforts to exert authority and control, are really reflective of a ruthlessness that is rarely seen, Butler said. Regardless of how you behave in state prison, regardless of what you do to better yourself, you should never get out of state prison, she added. Curiel was sentenced Wednesday for the 2015 killings of 6-year-old Sean Tara and his 3-year-old sister Delilah Tara. Curiel was given 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole for their murder and another life sentence for the torture of their older sister. Nevertheless, he will still be eligible for parole in 22 years, because he was a minor when the crimes were committed. Authorities say the children died from abuse at the hands of Curiel and their aunt, Tommy Joy Huntsman, 41, in her Salinas home. Curiel also was convicted of torturing their 9-year-old sister. Huntsman pleaded guilty in February to 2 counts of murder and was sentenced to life in prison. Authorities began investigating after finding the oldest child injured in the back seat of an SUV in 2015. The girl told investigators that Huntsman and Curiel killed her younger siblings on Thanksgiving after she was caught stealing a bagel. She and her siblings were punched, choked, kicked, hit with belts and other objects, refused food, zip-tied to their beds or chairs, and locked in a dark, cold, cement bathroom, often without their clothes, for hours or even days. The children did not understand why they were being punished. They were forced to sit still in a corner that her torturers selected for them, and were prohibited from moving, crying, or huddling together for warmth, the district attorney's office wrote. That girl, who is now 12, wrote a letter to the court forgiving her aunt and Curiel for their actions. It's not good to dislike someone for a long time. So at this time I would love to say I forgive Tommy Huntsman and Gonzalo Curiel for their actions, she wrote. I wanted my sister and brother to know what life meant. Not the meaning of being hurt, sad, and killed. What I miss about Sean was his style, laugh, character. Detectives investigating the murders of a mom and her 4-year-old son who died in a house fire have made an arrest. Gina Ingalls, 34, and Milo, 4, died in a horrific blaze that completely destroyed their house and left her partner in a coma. Gina's partner Toby Jarrett, 26, who was also in the house at the time, was taken to an undisclosed hospital with burn injuries and remains in an induced coma. Cops arrested a 47-year-old man on Sunday morning on suspicion of 2 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. The man, from Eastbourne, was arrested in the town at around 10:40 a.m. and remains in custody. The fire broke out at around 1 a.m. in Croxton Way, Lower Willingdon on Tuesday last week. The bodies of Gina and Milo were discovered in a first-floor bedroom at about 12 noon on Wednesday. Their bodies have still not been formally identified, but police said they were confident it was Gina and Milo, and next of kin have been informed. Detective Chief Inspector Mike Ashcroft, of the Surrey and Sussex Major Crime Team, who is leading the investigation, said, "Our thoughts continue to be with the victims' family and friends. I am aware that this horrific incident continues to have a huge impact on the community. I am appealing to anyone who has even the smallest piece of information which they think might help us to find out who was responsible for committing this terrible crime to get in touch with us." Relatives released a heartfelt tribute to Gina and Milo, saying their family was totally broken and distraught by the tragic loss of our beautiful daughter, sister, auntie and cousin, and grandson and nephew. They said Gina was a kind and free-spirited person with a big heart, and that Milo was a beautiful little boy so full of fun and smiles. They said, "Both Gina and Milo were our shining lights that brought love to us all. We are all trying to come to terms with this terrible loss, and there is a huge hole in all of our lives." They said their love and thoughts went out to Toby, who was not Milo's father, but who they said he had started to call Daddy. A post-mortem carried out on Friday revealed Gina and Milo had died as a result of smoke inhalation. The cause of a Michigan man will spend 25 years behind bars for forcing his girlfriend to stay in a hotel room naked, where he made her have sex with his friends. Alfonso Russell, 48, was found guilty of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, unlawful imprisonment, domestic violence and assault by strangulation last April. The Holt man was sentenced Friday to a minimum of 25 years in prison for his crimes. His girlfriend, who has been unnamed given the sexual assault nature of the case, said at first her relationship with Russell was magical. She said they had consensual sex, but he began to show more aggression towards her and wanted to control everything she did, according to the Detroit Free Press. He and the girlfriend lived at a Lansing area hotel for a month, with Russell claiming his landlord was violent and he didn't want to risk her safety, she said to the court. He rarely let her leave the hotel, and she was only let out to pick up food or beer for her boyfriend or to check on her aunt and uncle a few doors down at the hotel. Russell even sent his friends over to the hotel room to ensure she was still there, she said. She said sex in their relationship became rough and non-consensual. At one point he forced her to perform oral sex sitting at his feet and told her no, you know where a woman's place ice. At times he would strangle her so hard she would lose consciousness. He also brought home friends after work and made her have sex with them on 3 or 4 occasions. When she begged for them to stop, Russell told her, "Make Daddy proud, baby. Make Daddy proud." When she protested, he said allegedly, "Too bad. The only way that I could see it end is that I was going to be a full-fledged, sick prostitute or I would have left in a body bag," she said in court. Russell has 2 previous domestic violence convictions. Prosecutors talked to 2 of his ex-wives and an ex-girlfriend as witnesses, all of whom said he repeatedly raped and strangled them. A man has been charged after he allegedly exposed himself to a woman on a Sydney train and assaulted 2 cops while he was being arrested. The 24-year-old woman was traveling on a train from Central Station on Wednesday morning when she flagged down police after it stopped at Bankstown. Police said the 24-year-old man had gotten off the train at Sydenham after the alleged act of indecency unfolded, with officers launching an investigation. The man was found by police later in the day at Central. While police were arresting the man, he allegedly spat in the face of one officer and tried to grab a firearm from another cop, before kicking both in the leg. The man was charged with resisting arrest, an act of indecency, and 3 counts of assaulting police. Police also executed an outstanding warrant. The man was refused bail to appear before Central Local Court on Thursday. Both officers. A man has been charged with assault after leaving a baby alone in the woods for 9 hours following a car crash. Francis Carlton Crowley, 32, left the 5-month-old infant under a pile of debris and sticks early on Sunday. Crowley is scheduled to appear in court in Missoula on Tuesday on charges of assault on a minor and criminal endangerment. Deputies were called to Lolo Hot Springs at 8 p.m. on Saturday because Crowley was creating a disturbance and threatening to fire a gun, Missoula County prosecutors said. Officers learned he and the baby had been in a crash earlier that day. Crowley was disoriented, likely because of drug use, and unable to help officers find the baby or say how long ago the crash had occurred, charging documents said. Officers continued to search in the various areas where the defendant stated the baby was located, but they had difficulty given the defendant's numerous inconsistent statements about the baby's whereabouts, court records said. Crowley variously said the baby was lying on the side of the road or had died and was buried in the woods. Federal, state and local agencies joined the search, and U.S. Forest Service officer Nick Schultz arrived with an off-highway vehicle. He and Missoula County Deputy Ross Jessup followed a forest road on which Crowley said he had traveled. They continued on a game trail where they spotted small diameter trees that had been damaged. Eventually, they spotted Crowley's crash car, but the baby was not inside, court records said. Officers followed a trail of personal items, including baby formula and a diaper bag, down the slope from the crash. Jessup and Schultz then searched upslope from the crash, following a game trail until they heard a faint noise about 2.30 m. Jessup found the baby face down, covered in small sticks and dressed in only a wet and soiled onesie. The baby was taken via ambulance to the hospital. On the way, the baby coughed up small sticks, the charging document said. He was treated for dehydration, lack of food and scratches, cuts and bruises and was placed in the custody of the Department of Public Health and Human Services. Crowley, who acknowledged using methamphetamine and bath salts, was jailed, with his bail set at $50,000, 38,000 pounds. For all of us at the sheriff's office, this is what we call a miracle, the sheriff's office said in a statement on Monday. For the officers who were present for this event, it's especially hard knowing what this small baby endured in the last 24 hours. Crowley is from Portland, Oregon, and was previously arrested in June in Missoula on a fugitive warrant from Oregon, the Missoulian Report. This is a comical moment. A man who broke his watch in a McDonald's restaurant was filmed berating employees and hollering at customers after the incident. In a video that surfaced on the internet this week at an unspecified location, the man is seen ordering over the counter shortly before he goes on a tirade about his busted watch and other matters. This place is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The individual is heard shouting to customers as he turns around. A woman sitting with her child nearby orders the customer to watch his mouth, causing the man to become further enraged. "Watch my mouth. They broke my watch. It is not your opinion to tell me what I can do. You just mind your own business back there," he tells her. "I understand you have a child. Do you understand what I am saying to you, ma'am? Mind your own business." The angry customer then demands his money back from one of the employees, who seems to keep calm and cordial during the whole ordeal. The man berates the employee once more after the worker apparently did not hand him his change directly by hand. He repeatedly threatens him, telling the fast food joint worker he plans to report him and the incident to his organizations. This is the terrifying moment a tourist is bitten in the arm by an angry monkey as he tries to pose for a photo with it. The man can be seen grinning as the Balinese long-tailed monkey playfully crawls over the man's back at Sacred Monkey Forest in Ubud, Bali, where tourists are allowed to interact with the animals. We see the monkey, unable to get into the bag on the man's back, climb down his arm and try and get at the bag on the ground. The monkey sniffs at it, but when the man goes to pick it up, the monkey bares his teeth at him before sinking them into his arm. The man rips his hand away from the monkey, pulling the bag up with it. The footage was filmed by a tourist and later posted online as a warning to social media users that the cute animals do have a wild side when trying to get at food. According to the tourist filming, the man quickly left the area and it was unclear whether he was injured. The monkey forest is a sanctuary or natural habitat of Balinese long-tailed monkeys that became a major tourist attraction, with around 700 monkeys and 186 species. There are several reports where others have been bitten at the park, including one where a video shows a monkey trying to bite a man's face as he posed for a picture with it. Monkey bites are an important risk among A man plunged 50 feet down a jagged waterfall after losing his footing while trying to take a selfie. The bumbling youth broke his pelvis in the terrifying plunge on Saturday and is recovering in hospital. He had been visiting his friends at the waterfall in the Gariband district in northern India. Making his way to the top of the picturesque natural feature, he decided to take a photo. But he slipped on the wet stone before crashing over the lip of the falls and plunging down onto the rocks below. He only narrowly avoided seriously injuring another man standing at the bottom of the waterfall. Local police have urged people to avoid taking life-threatening selfies. In June this year, a 35-year-old man died after falling from a 170 feet high waterfall in southern India while trying to pose for a selfie. Gamjan Usman Kaji, from Gat Prabha, climbing down the cliff face of the famous Gokak waterfalls, a popular tourist destination in the Belagavi district of Karnataka state, before slipping. Kaji and his friends had reportedly turned up at the well-known beauty spot heavily drunk on Saturday afternoon, and had been performing stunts near the edge despite being warned of the danger. Eyewitnesses said Kaji had begun. A man has gone viral after mocking the sort of sultry snaps women typically post on social media while on holiday. Pete Bradley, from Lytham St. Anne's, posted a picture of himself on a hotel balcony, wearing a small pair of shorts that he'd pulled up to create a thong effect and expose his bare bottom, which he is seen thrusting towards the camera. "Girls be like, take me back," he joked, mocking cliched Instagram captions familiar from many girls' Instagram feeds. It struck a chord with his Twitter followers, and his post soon began circulating online, racking up thousands of likes and retweets. It even inspired some others to post their own take on the stereotypical holiday post, all featuring men adopting seductive poses. In the snap, Bradley had rolled his shorts up to reveal his bottom and posed on tiptoes, a commonly used trick among women to make their legs appear longer in photos. With his hands on the ledge, He gazed out over his hotel balcony with a mock-serious expression, and his back to the camera. "Girls be like, take me back," he tweeted, followed by sunshine and Spanish flag emojis. The picture went viral and received over 48,000 likes and retweets on Twitter and left his followers in stitches. One tweeted, "This is the most accurate thing I've ever seen, oh my god. Bravo, Pete." It didn't just go down well with men. Women got in touch too to say they recognized their own behavior in his light-hearted post. "This is so me. Not even ashamed X," one girl said. A third said, "This is legit me." Bradley's post inspired other men to recreate this ultra pictures women take when they're on holiday. Another Twitter user @DairyFelvy tweeted a picture of himself wearing a pink strip dress with a sweetheart neckline. Posing with a hand on his hip, Dairy pulled a pouted face for the Snapchat picture, which he'd written "Anyone awake?" on, a play on an attempt to get some attention with a seductive social media snap. Mimicking Bradley's snap, he captioned the post, "Take me back." Another man, who went by the